Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to SimPlay Motorsport. Good evening, of action here at the Nurburgring. I'm your host, Mathew Duffin, bringing you all the drama from... sorry, I muted the wrong thing there. I'm your host, Mathew Duffin, bringing you all the action from the Nurburgring. Apologies if you just got a bit of a double noise from me there. We've sorted that one out. Now, Kelly Davis joining me in the box. Kelly, good evening to you. It's going to be a cracking night's worth of racing, I feel, around here.
Absolutely. Another packed grid tonight, Matt.
38 cars out of 40. It's going to be a fascinating one with that treacherous turn one that we all know and love here at the Nurburgring. Before we get into it, Kelly, I'll just go quickly through the championship standings. Dan Davis leads the way, 17 points clear of missing. This is in the Pro Platinum category. Sylph is P3, 21 behind. Then it's Aresh from Hoop at P5. Comore is P6. Mike Matthews in P7 from Matt Wright. Van Ho, he is Skunky's real name, so he wants to now go by Van Ho. So if you see Van Ho on the list, that is Skunky. From now on, he'll be known as Van Ho. Then it is Clouden from Carlos, Rosowski, Williams. O'Reilly down in 14th, really struggled at Alton Park. Overtaker from Bolton, Diesch from Jacob. Ben Rook, another driver who was up there last season, really didn't have the opener he'd have wanted. Leger from McGowan, De Bont, another one who struggled at Alton Park, and then Schmidt and a new driver of Hockhausen here this afternoon. And in gold it is Vitas, who has a 52-point lead in gold over Hibbs. 53 then to Cairns. It's Michael Harris who's 62 behind. From that of Cardno, Butcher, Class Langley, Ramsell, Stardog, Lojek, Castro, DeCourt, Smith, and then we've got two new drivers of Messinio and Manavola out there on the track as well. 38 drivers, Kelly, with a team's championship that looks pretty good, but the Vitas one, this is the bonus of these two separate championships now. 52 points clear.
Yes, the way that the points work out now that we've gone from separate classes, the Platinum and the Gold, as their own classes, means, with Vitas with a cracking good start to the season, has really given himself a real advantage out of the first round. So we'll see if we can keep that kind of pace, shall we, tonight?
Yeah, indeed we shall. The team's championship looks like this. It's MSA, who's 27 points clear of Audio Sport, with then that of Schwitzer Racing P3, Racing Softs are in 4th, and it's Team GPR from Momentum Motorsport. Cloud9 are P7 from MSA Autosport, Quantum Motorsport P9, then it's SimPlay Racing, the Casuals, Utopia Motorsport, Blaze Motorsport, and the Greasy Bandits Racing bring up the rear. A few drivers on a qualifying ban, but we get into that one a little later on, as it is the reverse grid night, Kelly, and we do love a good reverse grid race. And Turn 1 will be an interesting one with 38 cars on the grid, because it is a hairpin, come back on yourself type hairpin as well at Turn 1. It could be an interesting one to keep an eye on.
Yeah, it's a unique first corner and probably the best overtaking opportunity on the track. As you said, it's downhill hairpin and quite a tricky one to negotiate. Heavy braking down into that Turn 1, and as I said, a really good opportunity to overtake, and it's going to make for a very interesting first lap on both of the races. Everyone jostling for position and trying to make up those places, and you could get some surprise places with a bit of carnage in Turn 1.
You could indeed. And one thing to also mention tonight is the weather was pretty much identical from last night, just a little bit cooler here today, if anything. It was very spicy in race 1 with the mixed conditions that we had there. This could be, we don't know what the weather's going to be, because obviously HCC is what it is from when you reset the lobby to the end of race 2, so it could chuck up rain at any moment. It could also stay like this. But the race 1 last night was very spicy, Kelly. I think we could be in for another hot race like that again.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, I didn't get the opportunity to see last night's race, but if I wanted to go back, they're all on the SimPlay channel, so you can go back and view any of them at any point. So by the sounds of it, it was well worth a watch.
Oh, it was well worth the watch indeed. We've got 4 minutes left of practice. We have had to redo the lobby due to one driver not being able to be in the correct car for some reason. That has been sorted. O'Reilly is your quickest man from Schmidt, and it is Williams out there. Then it's Diesch, De Bont, Ben Rook looking decent, Hoopert up there, Dan Davis, P8 at the moment. Says he's been struggling in the dry, so we'll see what he does in his Lexus. Class in 9th, Mike Mathew from Comore. Mizin, McGowan's 13th. Airesh P14. We then got Rosowski. Vitas running in P16 at the moment. Carlos Leger. Michael Harris. Then it's Butcher from Hibbs with Castro Manavola. One of the new drivers today. He's currently running 24th as Messino. The other driver's just gone up to 20th place. So yeah, an interesting one at the moment to see what drivers can do out there.
Yeah, and look at the top 18 covered by 1 second. Top 18, Matt, 1 second.
And not everybody's done a lap time yet, Kelly. So a lot of drivers yet to do a lap time. Green surface though, Kelly. That's an interesting one going forward into this.
Yeah, it does seem to be. Track temperature is 16, ambient of 13 at the moment. Track is still green. A lot of guys struggling on this. We don't see the track green for that long, and it really is. So, as you said, mixed conditions around this evening. So, yeah, look out for that. Could throw a spanner in the works for some of these drivers.
Are you a fan of the Nurburgring, Kelly?
I don't mind it. I like the little bit that they on the end that goes for about 14 miles. But yeah, it's one of them. It's a little bit for me. Yeah. It's all right, but I don't. You know, if I have to race here, I don't mind it, but I wouldn't put it on my top 10 tracks ever.
No,
you know?
me and you, I think, have the same opinion about that first sector, the Mercedes-Benz Arena.
We're in the same. Mouse.
Yeah, we're in the same opinion of that. When we do the Nordschleife 24 track. You skip that section, and I think it makes the Nürburgring a bit better. But obviously, the Mercedes-Benz Arena is the route we have to take tonight. So, the GP route. I'm old enough to remember GPs without that loop, and it first being introduced. And old drivers saying it was a Mickey Mouse section, and it really is a little bit, isn't it? You know. Yeah, it is indeed. So let's see what we can do going forward in this race, and we've got like we said, 38 drivers out there. Cracking grid once again in what was a great Pro-Am night last night. Another great Who Darren Cup in the BMW M2s on Tuesday night, and I'm sure we're going to be in for another cracking night of pro action. And the bonus last night, I found, Kelly, is that we could actually breathe and take a moment round this track with it being a little longer than Alton Park.
Yes, absolutely. Although saying that, with 38 drivers, it still looks really quite busy. And I mean it's an awful lot of drivers. But as you say, it's not like Alton Park. The Alton Park was what I thought was a great start to the season. A little bit of genius. To have that as the first race, it certainly woke all the drivers up, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. It seemed to be a track that was, kind of, you had to be alert and awake for, didn't you? You know what I mean? And drivers had to not take any chances and not put too many risks out there around Alton Park. And I think we got some brilliant racing for the opening week across the board.
Absolutely, and a lot of guys have changed their cars, are still getting to grips with their cars, and throwing a challenge like Alton Park as round one, as you say, I certainly think some prospered. I mean, double win for Dan, really showed what a track position could do on that track. Ben Rook having an absolute disaster, and a few others having mixed fortunes for the night. I think this week we'll start to work out who's got real pace on an FAA Grade 1 circuit. This is going to be more representative of what who's got what pace, really.
Yeah, I think we said it last week, didn't we, that you're not really going to know anybody's true colours until we get to this race at the moment. Obviously, drop scores come into play as from tonight. They won't reflect on the table until next week. So we give it after 3 weeks now for the drop scores to take place. That allows tables to not just be after 1 week, after 2 weeks, your lowest score is dropped, as Matt Wright comes to an end of his qualifying session there then. We've got a few drivers still out there on a lap. Car number 2 is one of them. That is Mezin. He looked pretty good last week in the Mustang.
He did look
Couldn't
good,
take that race 2 win from Dan, but he looked pretty good. He was sharp on Dan at the very end, though.
Yes, absolutely, he was, and I mean, he had a good week last week around Alton Park, taking all 3 of the Who Darren Cup wins as well. So he had a cracking week last week, and he's a new guy to SimPlay, but one to very much to look out for as he goes in 3rd right at the end there.
does indeed. Dan's Lexus down in 13th place. He's on improved.
Yeah. And have a look at top. Who's on top, look?
Yeah.
We said about Vitas at the top of the show, the Gold Driver, showing some real turn of speed. Was very impressive last week at Orton Park. It looks like that wasn't just form.
Well, I think that's still. Let's wait and see, because the track's just getting quicker every lap that the drivers do, with it still being green. So I think I don't think that leaderboard is representative of what we're going to possibly see come qualifying 2, unless we get a bit of rain in between. I don't think we're going to possibly see. We're going to be in the 53s, if not into the 52s, at the start for qualifying, I would assume. But
but nevertheless, to top the timing sheets is impressive. Yeah. He now starts at pretty much the back of the grid, but there you go. That's the way the reverse grid goes. So, and exactly that. When the reverse grid championships reversed from last week, and platinum in front of gold.
Yeah.
So that, as I say, with Dan Davis with 2 wins, puts him. Way down the order.
23rd, I believe.
23rd,
Yes, he is. He's only got Hotchhausen behind him, and that's because Hotchhausen is new for this week. So if you're new to the series, that's Pro-Am or Pro, you get put to the back of the grid in your respected categories. That's why he's at the back, and then Messino and Manavola is also at the back. Manavola in the pit lane. I'm not sure why he's in the pits, but he is.
30 seconds.
So we're unsure on that one. But
yeah,
poll out through you think he's going to win this first race. Kelly track has gone fast, very overcast though. I want to talk a bit more about pitch strategy in race 2, especially with what me and Langley discussed last night. I'd like to get your thoughts on it, but we'll do that a little later on. Who's your money on in this first race?
Ben Rook. No?
He's not sounded all that confident. So I'm going to go De Bont.
That's drivers for you. De Bont, McGowan, any of them could do it.
Schmidt's first outing in the GT3, so we're not sure what he's capable of yet, because he wasn't with us last week. So I'm going to go De Bont.
Okay, well I'm gonna back the Ben.
I'm shocked, by the way.
Okay, why?
No, I've been sarcastic.
Oh, okay. You better point that out for me next time.
Yeah.
It was actually a genuine, not just an audio sports decision. I just think Ben's going to have the bit between his teeth a little bit.
Yeah, that's kind of why I don't think Ben will do it. I think he may overdrive. We've had 2 that have missed the start of this race, and that is, excuse me, that is Keynes and Messino then, who are starting from the pit lane then. So the grid order for this first race, we'll let them get through sector 1 so it updates properly for us, and then we'll get through the grid order. But I'm looking forward to this one, Kelly. I've got a feeling 38 cars on the grid. This could be maybe a bit, we'd like not to see the dramas, but big grid. Last time we was here, you were saying that Clouden was going to have a really good night and a heck of a night, and then your very own Dan Davis took him out of turn 1 at the start of the race. So
yeah. I mean, anything could happen, Matt, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It's all speculation.
It's a roll of the dice, isn't it, into this turn 1?
Where is Clack 14th, Clouden? Yeah, of course he is. There's so many drivers on the grid, it's hard to pick people out. It's anything could happen in turn 1 for any race, and being that there's so many cars on grid, that's what makes it so exciting. And you said you're looking forward to this one. I totally agree. I'm looking, with this end of the season, I've said it before, when everyone's still here and they're still keen, it's great to see, so many cars on the grid. And yes, I'm looking forward to it. But to be fair, there's not one I haven't looked forward to in the last couple of seasons. It's all been great action.
Overtaker is starting from the pit lane, so he's been teleported at some point or another. So I'm not sure why, but he is starting from the pit lane.
Is that a choice he made, or?
I would assume possibly, because he wasn't in the pits when they gridded up. So I think that could be a decision of...
Could be. I'm struggling, as you regular followers of SimPlay might know. I don't see exactly what you see at the same time. I've got my own view on my own PlayStation, and I tend to sit on board with a certain driver. I'm struggling tonight which one to sit on board with, you know, because I just don't know where the action's going to be. I was on with Patrick Leisure, and being that the front four are going to be interested, then I thought, well, it might be nice to sit on with O'Reilly, then Clouden, then Dan, Hooper. Hooper was good last week. Expecting to see some good stuff from him tonight. I'm going to sit on board with O'Reilly, I think, and try and view from there. But it's trying to judge where the action's going to be, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. I think this is going to be an interesting race. I really do. I think it's. I think we're going to get some entertainment in this one. I think it could be well worth the watch here. They've rounded the final corner. We're about to get underway then for round number 3 of the season. Only 20 rounds this season. The 10 tracks due to the Christmas period, in which we're only 10 weeks away, Kelly, if you haven't been counting yet. But we're green and go for round 3 of the season. It already looks it's a good start from Schmidt and De Bont. They've gone together. Ben Ruck looks like he's just got in front of McGowan at the moment. Watching back from Leisure, though, who's nearly 3 wide. He's got the Ferrari done as they head into turn 1. McGowan later on the brakes, 3 wide into 1. Ben and McGowan and De Bont. Bit of handbags there between the 3 of them, nothing too major, no yellow flag showing as yet, and that means they are all cleanly through turn 1, but the leaders are as they are. Leger side by side though, with that of what looks to be Bolton, who's had a really good start, moving up a couple of places. He gets ahead of Leger as well, and championship leader O'Reilly has gone from 10th and has moved forward. He is looking racy with Leger, looking on the inside, bit of contact between the 2 of them there. O'Reilly still with that inside line. Leger's got to hold him off and does around the outside.
Big accident as they came out of the Mickey Mouse sector. I don't know who it was, but 2 cars off big time.
Hooper with big damage, seeing the yellow flag near his name, with big damage to his name for Hooper then. So he is off. He has stopped the car and returned to the pit lane. Mike is trying to go side by side with Dan Davis. That isn't going to work. Late braking from Mike Matthews. Dan has to take a wider line. I think that was more Mike avoiding Dan than passing Dan, but already Hooper with big damage in this race. It's Schmidt from De Bont, from Ruck, from McGowan, Diesch up into 6th place, then it's Bolton, from then Leger, O'Reilly with Clouden having a look, and we've got Rozalski and Williams going side by side just after the Schumacher S's. They now bounce off each other. That's cost both a bit of time, and that's allowed Komar up the inside, around the outside of Williams. We've also got Karloff and Jacob going side by side in the Ferrari and the BMW. It is all action on the opening lap, this is, I believe that is Eresh, who is on the back of these 2 as well, possibly going to look to make it 3 wide into the chicane. No, he's not, and Jacob trying to hang on in there on that inside line into the chicane, loses out to the BM. What a move from Eresh, gets it round the outside and up the inside for the next part. That's De Bont around. He's facing the wrong way of the chicane.
He is indeed, and loads of them diving to the pit. Stilts is in, Mitchell is in, O'Reilly's in, loads and loads diving for the pit, wanting to get out of this chaos. There was so much side-by-side action, I couldn't keep up with it all. But we had a few casualties out of that first lap, and as I said, loads diving into the pits, trying to get that advantage.
Dan was really all over the curb coming through turn 1 there as we're on board with Hotchhausen. He's just got himself ahead of De Court. Dan took a lot of curb there to try and get up the inside of De Court. He's now going to have a look up the inside of turn 3, backs out that one. It'll be the outside for 4, and you don't really want to be on the outside for turn 4. Easy to pick up a track limit warning on the exit. And Dan now trying to get Alexis to have a run on the outside of De Court for turn number 5. De Court's Ferrari will have that inside line. Dan's going to have to try and hold it strong around the outside. Can he do so? Yes, he can. Gets the move done. De Court manages to not hit the back of him. And now Mike Matthews made fancy a look up the inside in towards the hairpin. No, he doesn't. Tucks back in behind. Great start for Ramsel in this one as well. He's up to 19th place, so a good start for him. And a lot of pit stops being done. A lot of drivers still in the pits. It's been a chaotic start to this race, but a good one.
Absolutely, as I said, it's knowing what to look at the moment. They're all so close, obviously, so early on in this race. Further down the field, you've got Harris on the back of Cardano, who's on the back of Castro, who's on the back of everybody. You know, so it's all very close at the moment. Although they are doing a bit more single file than they are trying to go through corners side by side. Still lots of action going up and down the field at the moment. O'Reilly now the front of the pit runners,
he is
or the pitted runners. runners,
So we've
which
had
he would be.
O'Reilly, Williams, Silf, Mesin, Butcher, Langley, Manavola, Vitas, Wright and De Bont have done their pit stop. Hooper returned to the pit lane, let's not forget, and he had big damage on his car. Back to the front of the grid, Jamal Clouden looks like he has bailed into the pit lane, and it was Jamal Clouden who has come into the pits, but it's Schmidt from Rook at the moment in this race. This could be an interesting one to see, but Schmidt looks like he's got the better over Rook so far. That gap stayed roughly the same. Eresh also in the pits. Diaz putting on pressure on the back of McGowan. Then he's got Bolton and Leger with him. Bit of a gap back to Rozalski, who's got Komar and Carlos and Jacobs still there for company with Hotchhausen and that of Van Ho as well. Dan Davis yet to pit in this one. That surprises me from Dan to not get an early stop and not get that clear air.
Yeah, you say that. He's got a little bit of gap in front of him now. A second up to Van Houw, I think. But he's got a little bit of a gap, so maybe he's just trying to make some... I don't know what goes on in Dan's head most of the days,
neither do we.
You know,
Dan always likes to go for an undercut and get out the traffic. Every time we expect that from Dan, he does the opposite. Mike's got past a court. This is going to put Ramsell close to him, but he's got Rob Smith and Castro and Harris and Overtaker, who started from the pit lane. He's down in 22nd as Harris looks up the inside then of Castro. Apologies, Preston on camera there. And Harris and Castro, bit of door banging, still door banging. And they're going to stay as they was into the Schumacher S's now. It's Mustang, BMW Mustang. Oof. Harris looking around the outside, can't do it there. This could allow Overtaker to have a run. No, it won't, because Harris has shut the door on that one on the outside. Taker's going to fight it though, up the inside. No, he can't. Tuck's back in behind at the moment. It's great racing here in Germany this evening.
Absolutely, I'm on board with Overtaker at the moment. Did that pit lane start doing him any good? Well, I don't know. He's in the hunt here, but he's only 4 back from the rear of the pack, really, before the pit runners come in. But he's looking racy down the inside into the chicane. Is he going to make it stick? I think they just touched.
They did, yeah.
Just
they
touched with Harris and he's through.
But Overtaker got it stopped on the inside apex of the chicane, so I don't see a lot wrong with that one there from Overtaker. Good move, in my opinion, that from Overtaker. Right, Bolton, Rozalski, Hoochhausen, and that of Castro all into the pit lane now. Closest fight is then down the order with, not Jacob, sorry, it's that with Carlos on the back of Komar at the moment in this race. While we wait for the timing towers to sort themselves out. In this one, it's been a cracking start. Manavola, by the way, that's the closest fight. Manavola and Vitas both have pitted, and Vitas wants to get ahead of that gold driver of Manavola to help him out in that championship run at the moment.
Absolutely. Now, the top 5 have broken away a little bit now by about 4 seconds from the rest of the pack, and they're probably the most comfortable, really. Certainly the top 3, with a nice little gap in between all of them. Schmidt leading, Rook in second, McGowan third. All got a nice little gap now, and plenty of clean air for a minute or two. So the top 3 certainly comfortable at the moment, and as I said, another second back as they go back down to 5th, and then a big jump, as I said, back to 6th place, and starting to get a little bit of field spread now.
You say
certainly
that, here and there. Anyway, Silv's got ahead of Rozalski. Then good move through the Mercedes-Benz arena just there. Overtaker still. In fact, Overtaker's on the back of Harris once again. So Harris has got back through on Overtaker, and Overtaker, very twitchy to come out the draft of Harris there. Then down towards the chicane they come again. Overtaker's got that nose alongside up the inside line. He's going to look now. Harris trying to squeeze him. They touch once more. Harris manages to stay there. He's now lost out to Overtaker again. Nothing I saw wrong with that from Overtaker, and he's through and up the inside this time. Little slide on exit, but Overtaker back through.
Yes, indeed. Certainly having a ding-dong those two for sure. As I'm further down the field, Vitas having a look into the chicane on Manavola. Yeah, Manavola. And Matt Wright with a watching brief behind these. Oh, they touch. They're round. Matt Wright avoids any kind of those handbags, but Manavola is right round. He's spun right off, dropping places like mad. Vitas dropping back as well. That puts his Pro-Am rival Langley back up the order, but he's got his own problems with Minson having to go down as they go onto the back straight. Vitas with an opportunity now to close in on Langley and Mintz as they head towards the chicane one more time.
Yeah, Mezin there capitalising, as did Langley, and that of Matt Wright. Vitas, lucky actually Vitas to not have lost too much. I know he's lost 3 places, but in the grand scheme of things, he could have lost a lot more than just them 3, so he's done well at the moment.
Yeah, considering he was turned right round, that was, it was a good recovery there, but still plenty to do. And Kieran O'Reilly, your current champion with the fastest lap at the moment, as Langley is under pressure.
Kelly. He's not. He wasn't under pressure. He was defending from Vitas. Hibbs and everybody's just come flying out the pit lane. Langley's had to then avoid the back of Hibbs. This has put him on the back foot against Vitas at the moment. He looks like he's going to hang on in there, and does indeed. But whoa, that was nearly a big disaster.
Absolutely. I was watching part of it on board and didn't see the rest of it pan out, but he was certainly could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, could have been a lot worse indeed, and this has been a cracking start to this race already in race number 1. We're still on that fight with Langley and Hibbs and Vitas. This is down the order. Hooper hasn't come back out, so that looks like it's going to be no points for him in this one, and a potential retirement. Obviously, we always encourage drivers to get to the end of races, but that is Hooper with big damage he had. No points there then. Very cloudy, gloomy day. How many's left to pit? Well, we've got Leger, Jacob and Mike Matthews all in the pits. Dan's still yet to pit, so he's trying to go long in this one. Is he fastest?
Fastest lap.
Oh yeah, he has now. Yep, sorry,
fastest
it wasn't purple on my side.
Yeah,
I'm not sure what strategy this is going to be like for Dan, because the one I'm looking at is Kieran O'Reilly. He's got such a clear road in front. I know Dan's got 2 seconds, but O'Reilly's got the clear traffic and has had it since he's done his early pit stop.
Yes, indeed, and I mean it's too short a race to worry about what the weather's going to do, so that can't be his thinking. I don't know, maybe he's just comfortable. I don't know. We'll see how it pans out for him when we get to the sharp end, because we're only 4 minutes from the end of this race, so we're going to have a lot of people in the pits very shortly.
We are indeed. We've got Bolton for 15th place before the timing tower updates. He's got Clouden just closing down on him, just pulling away from Silf a little bit, is Clouden in this one. Then it's Rozalski dropping back down. You've got Williams on the back of Carlos there as well. Looking, if we drop back down to Matt Wright's gained onto the back of Harris now. He's taking Mezin with him, but Matt Wright now on the Harris-Rob Smith battle. And then drop back a little further. Langley still fending off that of Vitas and still on the back of Hibbs. So good fight out there at the moment. De Bont not been back in this one since his earlier spin after coming into the final corner. Easy to lose the car at the final corner by just hitting the curbs wrong, isn't it, Kelly?
Yeah, absolutely hitting the curbs wrong, and when you accelerate, the back end loosens right up on that last corner. It's a hurry up and wait corner, isn't it? The last corner of this one, you dive into it, pick up the apex, and you've just got to...
Sorry, Kelly, who's that off in the background? It's Ayres through the Schumacher S's very wide onto the gravel, was on the back of Leger, manages to keep it out the wall though. Sorry, Kelly.
I was just saying, the last corner, you kind of sit on the apex for ages and ages, waiting to get on the power, and if you go a little bit too early, the back end will snap, and it's one of those corners that when it does start to snap, you are either losing considerable time or you're in the pit wall.
You are indeed. Ben Rook and McGowan in the pits. Ben has just come off his limiter now as Kieran O'Reilly... Ben's come off the limiter now as O'Reilly's coming down the start straight. O'Reilly's Honda may get up to speed. Where is Ben? There he is in the distance. So I think he's done, but Ben had a big gap to O'Reilly before O'Reilly pitted. So I'm trying to work out O'Reilly in terms of Diaz, Comor and Dan. I think O'Reilly could lead them 3. I think he's not going to jump Schmidt, because Schmidt was 1.5 seconds, 1 second up the road from Ben. So I think Ben and Schmidt look good for 1-2 at the moment, but I'm trying to think where O'Reilly could come out. O'Reilly now fastest man on the track.
Absolutely, and these guys, O'Reilly, Silth, Davis, stuff like that, they're all just thinking about how many points they can score, because let's face it, a win from where they started in a grid like this is reasonably unrealistic without a major accident. So it's just about capitalising this point scoring, isn't it, Matt?
Yeah, it is indeed. As we sit on board the rear wing now of that of Bolton, you can see Cloud and Silf. Then you've got that of Rozalski and Leger on the back of him. Hochhausen has come back into the pit lane as well, so that's a disaster for his race. And Jacob has as well A lot of cars now in. I assume that's all the leaders about to come in. Yeah, Schmidt, Diaz, Komar, Davis. Overtaker will be coming in as well as that of Ramsel and Kane. So where is Ben Ruck in relation to the others? Remember, the pit stop is a minimum 25-second stop for fuel. So this is going to be interesting to see Ben Ruck coming through the fast right-hander. Now into the chicane at the very end of the lap as the weather looks like the sun's just starting to peek through again. Nobody's yet gone green, and Ben Ruck about to come around the final corner now, and this will allow Ben Ruck through, and O'Reilly's only 2 seconds behind him as Schmidt and Diaz go green. So Diaz looks like he's going to stay ahead of Komar here. I think he was right about Ben Ruck, because I think he's going to take the lead in this race, or is he?
No,
because Schmidt's out the pit lane. Ruck's going to try and look to the outside line. Is he going to try and get the up and under? No, he doesn't. O'Reilly through. Bolton, Clouden, Silf, Rosowski, Leger, Eresh, McGowan. Is McGowan going to get ahead of Dan Davis? No, he's not. So McGowan, the biggest loser in the pit stops after being on the podium earlier on. But Dan Davis will be back down, and this shows you how much you lose. Dan will be back down from about 4th to about 10th or 14th place in this one.
Absolutely. Ben needs to attack now, although I think his opportunity is already gone. Schmidt is just starting to pull a little bit of a gap. It's really where's Ben's opportunity? Probably down into the hairpin. I don't think he's close enough where he is now. No, he ain't going to be close enough. He'd have to have some sotty send it to put that one on Schmidt's right now. So, yeah, I think, and we're on the last lap? Are we going to, yeah, we're on the last lap.
No, this is the last lap because the time is gone. So this is the last lap.
Yeah.
So Ben's got to get a move done sooner rather than later. There's a great queue behind Diaz in 4th place. Diaz, Bolton, Clouden, Silf, Rosowski, Leger on the back of that one. Eresh nearly on the back of the train. Then it's Komar. Davis down to 12th at the moment, but we'll go back to that fight at the front. Kelly, keep an eye on the Diaz Bolton battle from 4th down. We'll bring the action on the cameras to the front. Let us know if anything happens there. Watch it from about Rosowski, I'd say, sort of him and Silf in the middle of that pack. If anything happens, we'll try and get over to it as quick as possible. Round the final kink they go. They've got the chicane in the last corner, but it looks like Schmidt could be yet another brand new winner here at SimPlay Motorsport in the Pro Series especially as well, and the platinum win for that. Ben just running out of time through the final corner. There you go. Schmidt's just got to get a good exit. Little wiggle, but it's not going to hurt him here. Schmidt will win from Ben Ruck in race 1. Kieran O'Reilly fastest lap and P3. Then it is this long train of Diaz from Bolton, from Clouden, from Silf, Rosowski, Leger, Eresh. Bit of breathing space back to Komar, little bit of a gap back to Dan. Then it was McGowan and Carlos before Williams comes across for P15, just ahead of Mike Matthews. Van Hoe P17, Class P18, Butcher down in 19th from De Court.
Overtaker in the what? There's chaos. Sorry, Matt. It's chaos in the last corner. Overtaker into the pit wall, hit the end of the pit wall. Other guys crashed into him as well. It was a little bit of carnage there right at the last minute.
He is, and he's tumbling down the order here, Kelly. We're just trying to see who's crossing the line, but every time we change it, it goes back to Overtaker.
His car's at it. He can't turn left. He's dragging against the wall. He's dragging against the wall, can't turn left. He gets over the line.
Oh, yeah, look, that is broken. That is broken.
Very.
So it'll be interesting to see what happened to Overtaker there. Hotchhausen stayed in the pits at the end, so maybe a bit of damage for him, but he will score points due to getting to 3/4 distance. But race number 1 in the bags. What a race it was. We'll be back in a few moments' time for race 2. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back then, ladies and gentlemen, to SimPlay Motorsport. We are here live now for the qualifying session this afternoon in what should be a fantastic qualifying session indeed. We're just trying to pick up who is the first driver, and I believe it is Cordno that I can see is the first driver out there. As Kelly cracks open a nice cold can of something there. The championships... Go on.
Oh, I was just going to say, yeah, another can of Rattler. We don't drink anything else.
Ah, there we go then.
It's Coca-Cola, actually.
There we go. Pro Platinum, Dan Davis leads by 6 points ahead of Sylph, and it's Eresh in third place now from Komar. Mezin down to P5 with Kieran O'Reilly climbing up to 6th. Cloudens P7 ahead of Mike Matthews and Rosowski, with Hooper rounding out the top 10. Carlos is P11 from Van Ho. Then it is Bolton, Williams, Diesch, Ben Ruck up to 16th place ahead of Matt Wright. Schmidt, Leger, overtaker McGowan. Jacob, then it's de Bont and Hochhausen bringing up the rear. In gold, it's Vitas, whose gap's now 47 points to Hibbs, with Harris, Keynes, Butcher, Class, Cordno, Ramsel, Langley, DeCourt, Castro, Smith, Stardog, Lojek, Messino, and then Manavola bringing up the rear. Teams Championship, it's MSA Racing, 38 clear now of Audio Sport. Then it's the MSA Auto Sport with, I was nearly saying MSA Audio Sport there.
Not yet.
Yeah. Then it's Momentum Motorsport, Schwitzer Racing, Cloud9 Racing, Racing Softs, SimPlay Racing, The Casuals, Team GBR, Quantum Motorsport, Blaze Motorsport, Utopia Motorsport, and Greasy Bandits Racing bringing up the rear. Right, Kelly, that was an interesting race one.
It was. Don't read anything into me saying not yet between MSA Audio Sport. There is no talk of a collaboration. That was just a
joke.
Slip of the tongue. Yeah,
good banter from Kelly. That good banter.
Yeah, you know, I don't want to see it all over Facebook like you do about Red Bull and McLaren. You know that it was a slip of the tongue. It didn't mean anything. Now I feel like I'm digging a hole. Anyway, who's on a qualifying ban and why?
Who is on a qualifying ban and why? And well, we've got two reasons why drivers are on qualifying bans tonight. The first ones are for retirements. So that is. Where are we? They're there. Just scroll up a little bit. That is, no, they're still not there. Where's the qualifying ban? They're at the bottom. Thanks, Phantom. De Bont on a qualifying ban for a retirement, and Leger qualifying ban for 5 penalty points, which he picked up in 1 ticket.
Bad boy.
And I can confirm that De Bont is on track qualifying, so he hasn't read the Discord. And that will carry on over to Mazzano at the night race. So that will carry on over for him.
Double spanking, I feel.
Yeah. Telling off the rules. The stewards.
Yes, absolutely.
Read the Discord. You get tagged, so read the Discord. Yeah. Look at the track, Kelly. Look at that. It's beautiful to see so many cars.
Yeah, it's like...
And you can actually see them all as well, unlike Colton Park.
Well, you can kind of now, yeah. It's like the track map is like watching some sort of ants do a little dance around around a little circuit, isn't it?
Yeah, it is indeed. Want to talk race 2, Kelly, because it looks like it's rained since the end of race 1 into qualifying now, because into the free practice session, because the track went back to green. So all that rubbering that the drivers have just done has now been washed away. Now, although we have gone to fast very, very quickly. We have gone with faster, a lot of rubber being put down. We have indeed. Now, the thing I want to talk to you about, Kelly, is... Last night I had this discussion with Langley. What do drivers do race fuel-wise? Now, we don't give anything away. We're not going to say what drivers are on what fuel. I will say how many have gone full and how many have gone less than full. But me and Langley had this discussion last night. Is it worth going full when you can only see the first half an hour of weather when you start the race? You can't see what's coming after half an hour. So, I ask the question to you. What would you do?
Well, different scenarios for different people, I guess. I'm guessing that if I was in this field, I'd be dead last, right? So
irrelevant of pace. Yeah,
relative. Well, it does. I think it's all. Irrelevant of pace. I would go long, but that would probably be my strategy anyway, Matt. Fill it full of fuel. And I wouldn't be changing tyres. That's kind of always my default anyway.
Yeah, but I think with the changing weather, 5-second pit stop, Kenny, I think that's what allows a lot of drivers, because they're all going to run 25 seconds, regardless of how much fuel you fill up. That will only take you 25 seconds, even if you filled up the tank.
Yeah.
So this is what I mean. If you're only doing half and half because you're on the same strategy pretty much as everybody else, would you go full to go just in case the rain comes and you have to pit for wet? So obviously there's no pit window. Or would you stick to that half and half, and then but then run the risk of a two-stop?
Again, you're asking me what I would do, so I would fill it. You know, my pace is my pace. It doesn't really, you know, I very rarely push the car to its limits. You know, like most Pro-Am drivers, you know, a McLaren is still a McLaren if it's, you know, running high up in Platinum or running mid-pack in Pro-Am. My pace is my pace. For me, the fuel doesn't really make that much effect to what my pace is. So if you're asking me again what I would do, I would still be going full. That would be my default. But again, ready to react to the weather. I'd probably be. I don't know. It's really hard to say what you think that the rain is going to do as we get times in now as well. Overtaken with the quickest O'Reilly. Stealth goes straight into second. But I don't know. What would you do, Matt? I'd definitely go. I'd go full.
I'd go on, especially if you've been testing. You know the weather. The weather's pretty much identical to last night. I'd be looking at going long, and then if the rain comes, the rain comes. If it doesn't. Right, I've got to add 1 litre or 2 litres and sit there for 25 seconds. You know, everybody else has got to do the same to fill up the tank for 25 seconds. But I'd be keeping an eye on that weather. That would be my one thing. I'd be looking. I don't want a two-stop. What's the pit stop loss time around here? Actually, let's have a look.
Probably quite a lot. Just quickly, behave yourself, Rob Smith.
So around here for a loss of tyre chase. So if you only do the 25-second stop. It's 55 seconds in and out with no change of tyres. It's 60 seconds with a change of tyres. So if you think of that, you're in for 55 seconds, then you're in for 60 seconds. Well, these boys are lapping 1 minute 53. Now, all right, you know, if it's wet to dry, dry to wet, you know, the lap times are going to be more around that 2 minutes, but you've nearly lost a lap by having to two-stop. So I'd be full fuel in it.
As a reasonably... famous commentator, not as famous as us, of course, but a reasonably fast.
Depends on which one you're about to say.
A reasonably well-known commentator said, and probably the ultimate pundit, the trick to motor racing is being on the right tyres at the right time.
Was that Martin Brundle?
That would have been Martin Brundle.
Well, then, yeah, he's not as good as us.
No, absolutely. Well, none of them are.
There is. Well, there was.
And who would that be?
Murray
was legendary. I mean, he did talk a fair amount of rubbish, but then, hey, don't we all?
When don't we?
Don't we all? You know, so as too wide out of the pit lane as I'm just watching Dan go over for another lap, 3/4 of a second he's away from the pole at the moment, and time's getting tumbling through this grid. Haven't you noticed that Crofty is just talking more and more rubbish than he's ever spoke before? I think he must have been on some sort of.
I feel like he passes to Brundle and Caroon and Anthony Davison and Bernie Collins more than he does commentary on the race at times.
I found this weekend just gone at Cota, I can't remember exact things, but he was saying stuff, and then Martin was correcting him straight away because he was talking just nonsense.
I'm not going
to
lie
Crofty,
to you,
if you're listening. I know he does. I know he tunes in to get tips. So
I'm not going to lie to you, Kelly. I've turned the last 2 F1 races off partway through.
Right, okay.
Because I'm just finding it dull as dishwater. All right, one was for the touring cars, and race 2 was about to start, and that's more important than the F1. But the other one, Green Bay, was about to play in the NFL, the American football, and I'd have rather have sat and watched that than the F1. I'm just
absolutely no idea what you're talking about. I'm guessing that MFL is some sort of American rugby,
American football. I'm just I don't know. We get into the back end of a championship season in the F1, and I'm just not feeling it. I'm just not getting that sort of.
Yeah.
You go back a few years ago when it was Hamilton Verstappen, and you was like edge of your seat, not knowing what's going to happen that week. Now it's like there's a 3-way fight technically because Verstappen's done well to get back in it.
Verstappen's on a charge,
and I'm just kind of sat there going.
Do you know what? Do you know what, Matt? I'm really hoping that this rule change for next season is going to shake things right up. Being the biggest major rule change we've had for quite some time, I'm hoping it does.
Dan's just improved. Sorry, Kelly. He's only gone 13th, by the way. So not a big.
In the chat, that one actually has been talked about actually tonight. Rob.
Yeah, but not to do with racing, surprisingly.
Not to do with racing. I wasn't 100% listening to the conversation because it was a football one or FIFA or something like that you boys were dripping on about. I wasn't really paying attention. I was trying to drive my car very quickly. Quantum Audio Sport was a name that was used this evening. And Hooper, now the fastest man on track. Matt O'Reilly showing his championship class there in second place. And Hotthausen, the new guy, he's showing a turn of speed tonight as well, isn't he?
Yeah, he is.
Williams right in there as well. We haven't spoken a lot about Williams. He's returned after a great half season last year. He's returned back to the grid and didn't do crackingly well at Alton Park, he's looking quick here now.
He is indeed. I tell you what, this qualifying is anybody's game, by the way. Half a second separate the top 11. A second separate the top 24. That is how close this field is. Once again, an exciting... Rob, I donate my Sky Sports... it's not just Sky F1, my Sky Sports subscription. I donate it, Rob, but I enjoy watching the NFL, the football and the cricket too much, so apologies, I can't do that.
There you go. The life of a professional commentator. Got to keep up to date with these things, hasn't he?
And the Ryder Cup. I enjoyed the Ryder Cup the other week.
I only do motorsport darts. And nothing else. So darts. What's wrong with darts, man? Darts is great. Yeah, much more exciting than cricket.
No.
Cricket is dull as cricket.
We explained to Langley, one of our American drivers, that you can play cricket for 5 days in a test match, and the outcome be a draw, and you can play for all 5 days.
Absolutely.
And, Langley, I thought, was going to absolutely lose it.
Yeah.
Because Americans don't do draws, do they? They go for the win all the time. So I thought he was going to throw his Xbox down the stairs or something, but it's many hours and lost watching cricket. I've always said it. Cricket is a game that's great to play and horrendously boring to watch. But hey, it could be golf. Golf's even worse. I mean, Kelly.
How to spoil a perfectly good walk. Play golf.
No, I enjoy golf. I'd rather play golf than watch golf. Williams has gone provisional poles from O'Reilly by 300ths of a second. Next car on a valid lap is car number 2. That'll be Mezin, who's down in 18th place at the moment. Who's a shock so far? Devon, I suppose, is a shock down in 22nd. Although, is it because he's not meant to be qualifying, as Mezin's now just invalidated his lap? We look for car 48, and that will be that of Rozalski, 29th. There's the shock. Rozalski, 29th place.
Yes, indeed, and I was looking at Overtaker, but he's only 6/10 off the pole.
Hang on. I say Rozalski was the shock. He's now only 6/10 in the pole as he goes P12.
Absolutely, and you get 6/10 away, man. You're only P12.
I know.
Go half a second. Go 3/10 and you're fourth.
We was having this discussion last week. We was looking back at the stream. I can't remember. I think it was me and Rob or me and Cloud, and then we was looking at the times. And I said to one of them, it was like, yeah, but if you find 2/10, you'd have gained about 8 places. And it was just mad that you gain 2/10 and gain 8 places, whereas last season, 2/10 would have put you just very narrowly in the top spot. Carlos was down in the 20th. He's just gone within half a second. He's gone up to P8, so a good lap there from him. We're going to try and find the 225 coming round. That is Langley himself. Mr. Can't draw a match. What can he do as he comes down? Langers to the line, improves to P22, finds 3/10 of a second, and he's gained 7 places from it.
Absolutely, and 7 places sounds impressive, doesn't it? But 22, that's normally last. But not on this grid with 38 cars.
Oh, there we go.
On the
O'Reilly's gone pole. He's just taken the pole. Kieran O'Reilly.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
He's back.
That's why he's a champion.
And I think it just goes to show, Kelly, what you said at the top of the programme. We can't really judge what we saw at Alton Park. We've got to go from this week.
Yeah, and you would think that this being a track that is, regularly used. Of course, we've done 2 24-hour events here. This track is very heavily used. It's up there with Spa and Monza, isn't it? For ones that the drivers will know. It's only a case of them improving their own skills, their own setup to make more time. So anybody could go quicker here. But we're certainly getting, again, look at the top 4. The top 4 reads quite well, doesn't it?
Sorry, dude. Schmidt's just found 2/10 and gone from 19th to 10th. That is bonkers that he's gained 9 places only off of 0.2 of a second. But now I suppose the big shock is Mr. Davis, 19th place at the moment in this qualifying.
Second off. He did say he was struggling, but then to be fair, he says that every week. And he's given up. He's done.
Oh, there we go then. So Dan down the order. Here comes Cairns and Carlos. Can they improve? We'll see Cairns pop up. Yep, goes 21st. Carlos gets to 11th. Who's the 3.55? That is Butcher, 2 seconds off the pole time. Finds half a second. Gains himself a handful of places. Car number 77. That is Overtaker. P9 at the moment. He's got that of Rook behind him, and then he's got Vitas behind him. So where will Overtaker go to the line? Stays 9th. Rook goes up to 3rd, and Vitas stays in P14. And that is not your qualifying done, because the 664 still got to finish with McGowan. Sorry, he's now pulled off the track.
On the grass.
He is done. So it'll be the 4.33 of Sylph. And we've still got actually 4 more cars on a lap time. I thought it was all finished, but there's 4 more cars at the bottom end of the track on a lap time. Sylph needs 4 tenths. It's only a small amount of time. He finds a tenth of it, puts himself P5, 34. That'll be Michael Harris. 1.4 off the pole at the moment. Where is this one going to put him? Good evening to Paul Williams in the chat. What's the weather doing tonight? Any sign of rain? It's the same weather as what you had last night, so there's nothing at the moment. But don't forget, Kelly, there's an hour gap in between qualifying and practice, so it doesn't go straight into it. There's an hour gap in between. Harris moves up to 23rd. Matt Wright goes 17th, and who's car number 48? That'll be Rosalski. See what he can find. 7 tenths off the pole. Can he find anything? Remember when half a second, you think, how's he found half a second there? And he finds a tenth and goes 14th.
Yeah. That's crazy. Again, top 18 before you break a second. And, Dan Davis not in that second. Quite a few big names. Minson is way down in 24th. Karn's in there. Klaus, Mike Matthews, Vitas with, again, punching well above his weight in the gold category for some 5 places above his competitors in that group. But it's your man, Kieran O'Reilly, current champion. And this is starting to, as I said, maybe starting to see really whose pace is what. And as I said, the top 5 read, like they have done in previous years. O'Reilly, Williams, Rook, Hooper and Sylph, all very, very capable race-winning drivers here. You look to Hothausen is the new boy, but 6th place, that's impressive on your first night, your first qualifying. And again, Bolton right in there as well. He's going well. Overtaker probably would have wanted more, would take her at 9th place, but again, in this field, Clowder with a good shout in 12th, McGowan there also there or thereabouts. And as I said, as you fall down through the order, the highest goal driver being Vitas, as we said, Karn's right in there as the 2nd place goal driver. Minson were not with a great qualifying, and DeBont on a qualifying ban. Was
meant to be on a qualifying ban.
He was meant to be on a qualifying ban. Well, he was rubbish anyway. He's 29th, so don't quite know what that was all about. And Ledger, we know, was on a qualifying ban. He'll be bringing up the rear. And wow, what a again a huge grid. And don't go anywhere. Turn 1 is going to be very, very interesting. It's sunny at the moment. Wow, kind of broken cloud. You wouldn't be bothered about that for a lovely October day, just as we're getting to the end of British summertime. But we'll see. Again, the weather is saying sun for the next 30 minutes.
Can I just point out though, Kelly? Can't you tell it's a pro night, because all that practice in the rain and all that fret and drizzle will reset for the stream. Oh look, it's sunny. So of course the pros get it nicely.
Of course they do. That's the way it always pans out for them. The sun always shines on a pro's arse some days, every day.
Indeed.
Sun shines on a pro's arse every day.
I will try and get the poll up in just a moment. I am just trying to input qualifying results as we go through. Lojek not being here tonight. I am nearly done. So Butcher is who I'm not looking for. So
much more typing you have to do these days, isn't it?
It's crazy. It's
I have to.
crazy.
Yeah, I mean we've hardly spoken in the chat at all this evening. I did notice in race 1 that Chris Rook was there. Good evening, Chris. If you're still watching, which I'm sure you will be, he said I was having trouble to keep up. Yeah, absolutely. Have you seen this grid? Look at it. It's crazy. So loads of people in there. Keep your comments coming. Monkey Boy in there. Ex audio sport driver, no, back as an audio sport driver and crashing into his teammate on a regular basis.
They didn't hit each other. Yeah, they didn't hit each other last night.
Well done. It
was absolutely majestic.
Well, that'll save a telling off for Monkey Boy from team manager Dan. So well done. And yeah, as I say, loads of guys in the chat. Please keep comments coming. We're hoping we may have a little bit more time to chit chat in the feature race. But no guarantees with 38 cars on the grid. But please do keep your comments coming.
Indeed, please do. So. Yeah, what a race this is going to be. Kelly, are you going for the race win?
Well, I'm not going to go in, and although Ben had a brilliant first race with a second place, I'm not going to put the commentator's curse on him. I think O'Reilly out in front will just drive away into the distance. He might have a bit of hard time from Williams, but he's in the best place to start, isn't he? I'm going Kieran O'Reilly.
I'm going to look at Hooper.
Yeah. And you know what I said last week, don't you?
Yeah.
After tonight, the end of tonight, I'm going to see if I stand on that statement. If you missed it, well, you should have been watching. But if you didn't, I said Hooper for champion. After my own, not being biased, because Ben Rook's going to be champion.
Well, we've got Monkey Boy in the chat. Monkey Boy, have you received any Skittles yet? If you haven't, drop me a DM. We'll chat about it.
Hang on a minute. No, I'm not even getting into it right now. Not even getting into it. You just jumping on trying to manage all the audio sport drivers.
Can I just point out it was another podium for Ben and he's still not received his upgraded Skittles payment yet?
That's because I'm not even going to get into it. You're talking to the wrong person. You don't talk to, you don't go to Red Bull and start talking to, Dave, what's he called?
I do if I want the best for my
Mathew.
drivers.
You don't go start talking to Dave Mathew about Red Bull stuff.
Sounds
you
like
talk
Matt
to
username, that does.
Yeah, it does a little bit, doesn't it? You talk to the other guy, the new guy, who's doing quite well.
Just trying to look after the boys, that's all. Gotta watch out for you.
Whatever. You're talking to the wrong person. You know that.
Either way, we get into round 4 of the season. We're about to get underway for what should be a cracking race too. It's a clear sky here at the Nurburgring. It's a drive-through penalty for Cairns for an out of position at the start. O'Reilly gets a good jump. Hooper also has a good jump on that left-hand side. He's got away really, really well as Hooper already looking up the around the outside as Williams goes deep at turn 1. O'Reilly gets it stopped in turn through. Just keep your eyes on anybody at the back. Cardno's missed the start, it looks like. The 414 is only just coming around the final corner, so what's happened? Not sure what's happened to the 414, but Cardno's in the pit lane. So has he had another disconnection? I'm not too sure there, but we're all cleanly away, Kelly.
Yeah, a little bit of a spinner at the back. Klaus, I think, had a bit of a spin. There was a little bit of... Carlos it was. Had a little bit of a spin in turn 1. Didn't see quite what happened, but mostly away quite well. So no big dramas into turn 1 anyway. Dangling round the outside of Matt Wright at the moment. Brave move round there, but gets it done. This is where the good moves happen.
Overtakers in the wall coming out just down the run down towards the hairpin. It was Carlos, not Klaas. You said Klaas had a spin at turn 1. Yep. It was Carlos that was well off the pack. And he's pulled over at the side of the road. Not sure what has happened there. Overtaken hasn't hit the wall. He stayed out of it, but he's dropped a long way back. But it is Williams from O'Reilly, from Hooper with Ben Rook just fending off that of Hochhausen at the moment. Then it's Eresh with Sylph. Bit of a gap back to Bolton, who's got Schmidt going round the outside of him. Could be a cracking move from Schmidt. Holds it on the inside line, though. Yeah. He's got it set up round the outside. Holds the inside strong. Cloudon's got a great view of this one. Just a bit of a tap between the two of them. Here they go. Carlos has got back going once again. Matt Wright has now had a moment. And this is an opportunity for Schmidt and Bolton to go side by side in the chicane. Cloudon's watching and possibly licking his lips at the thought of what could happen. And Schmidt gets very slow, and that catches Cloudon out. And this could give Rosowski a look at the inside of Jamal. And it will do indeed. Jamal nearly leans on him, gives him enough room. And that is a great bit of racing back there. What a job from all of these. This is cracking start to this Nürburgring race.
Absolutely, Rosowski just dancing the back end of that BMW around the last corner. What I say earlier about traction, as McGowan's now having a look around the outside of Clouden. He's coming on. Oh, and who was that come diving through? That was Deesh. And there's an accident. Rosowski was round. He's got collected by McGowan right in the side door of that. Mike Matthews and Harris picking up places over McGowan, but Rosowski with a spin. I don't know if he was if he fell or if he was pushed. I don't know, but he just got the driver's door smashed right in on that one.
Yeah,
as Mike Matthews taking opportunities there, putting one over on Harris.
I didn't quite see what happened there, Kelly. I was watching Vitas looking like he was getting a little lungy into turn one just behind and saw the spinning Rosowski. And obviously Clouden, who got held up in all of that. But drama all over. Williams from O'Reilly then with Hoopert in third. Ben Rook, he's no longer fourth. He's down to fifth as Hoochhausen has got ahead of him. Then it is Eresh from Silf. Big gap back to Bolton, who's still under pressure from Smith. But Clouden's a little further back. It's then Clouden, Vitas, Comore, Diaz, Mezin, Dan Davis on the back of these as well. Then it's Rosowski with damage. Matthews from Harris, McGowan to Bont. If I know, to Bont's ahead of McGowan. McGowan side by side with that of Butcher into the Schumacher S's. Manavola, then Langley, that of Van Hoe, and then it's Castro, Messino, then it is Jacob, Decor, Ramsel. They are everywhere at the moment on this opening couple of laps. It is great racing to see here at SimPlay Motorsport. A little further forward, that looked like it was one of the Ferraris, I think Manavola, no, a little further back than them, a little further back from Langley, it was Castro, and that of Messino going wheel to wheel. Now Messino's going wheel to wheel with Jacob side by side as they head towards the chicane, just bounce off each other a little bit, now breaking into the chicane. Jacob has the inside line, Messino right around the outside, great little move. Oh, what a start, what a few little battles this is. That's the Bont off at the final corner. Where will he rejoin? He's slow back on the track and tucks in between that of the Ferrari and the Ford Mustang of Jacob, and then that of Castro.
Minson and Dan going at it. They touched, which let through Rosowski and Dish. And Dan gave the place back to Minson, so I got a feeling he pushed him out wide and wasn't comfortable with that. So both of them have dropped down the order about 2 places or so.
Oh!
So
Mike Matthews getting up the inside of Dan Davis here. That was very late. Dan didn't really leave the door open. I think that was more late from Mike than Dan turning in. But a flash of the likes from Mike there as disgruntled. So maybe I'm seeing that wrong then. Maybe Dan did close the door on Mike a little bit.
I don't know. I've gone back to the front because at the front, I said look out for Williams, didn't I? But he is under pressure from Kieran O'Reilly now, and Hooper has joined the party. So there is a good scrap up front for the lead of this race, Matt. We've been so busy trying to look at everything, and we apologise if we don't get everything. Look at how many cars are on this track, for God's sake. So, but up front, there's quite the scrap going on. Hooper, O'Reilly, Williams, all in this one as they jostle for...
not far off the back, Kelly, either. I'm telling you, he's really in a good seat.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's all going on at the front. Hooper with the fastest lap at the moment, and they're all looking racy up front.
They are all looking racy up front, just going back a little bit more because Schmidt's putting the pressure on Bolton once again. As Vitas sat in a strong 10th place, looking to recover after what happened in race one. We've had a few drivers into the pits early then. McGowan, Matt Wright and Carlos into the pit lane, then they could end up a lap down. And I tell you what, you don't want to be in 38 car traffic, do you? Because that's going to really hurt your race, having to keep slowed down for blue flags here. Harris on the back now of Matthews, and Matthews trying to stick with Dan Davis, but Dan's lost out to Mezin because Mezin's now on the back of Rosowski.
Oh, sorry mate, side by side for the lead down into turn one. O'Reilly got into the slipstream of Williams and slipped him all the way down, tried to go round the outside and almost made it stick. It's game on at the front.
And this is a MSA inter-team battle as well, isn't it? Because they're all a part of the MSA stable. As Hooper's a little wide through three into four. That's allowed Hoochhausen to have a run. Ford Mustang obviously 20% restricted to its name, so down on its power a little bit due to the updates that didn't come, so LFM have chose to bop it themselves, and Hooper stays in third place. Now this has put Ben Rook to make it a five-way fight, and Ben Rook's the fastest man out there.
absolutely. And I tell you what, I keep jumping back a car. I was on board with Hooper watching the front fight, but then I had to drop back because, as you say, Hoochhausen or Hockhausen, or however I called him Hockhausen when I first said it. He's now side by side with Hooper as they go up through the S's. Hooper backed out of that one, and Hockhausen's gone deep, and Ben Rook going round the outside. Ben's going to put a move on him now. As he got the job done, he's down the inside into the left-hander at the top of the hill. They're side by side still, and Eresh is now in this battle, is now joined along.
So he's Silth.
Yeah, he's not far away. I keep jumping back a car bit by bit. O'Reilly.
Whoa! I was sideways through the little right-hand kick. Do not touch that curve.
He was all over, yeah. He was all over that curve.
That was full opposite lock. That was full Colin McRae rally style opposite lock.
Yeah,
that was hope it sticks, I suppose.
That was, absolutely. That was optimistic if he thought he was going over that curve. I don't think he'll do that again, that's for sure. So, some great driving there. And, as now Silth has a look down the inside into turn 1, has got his nose just down the inside of Eresh, but gets locked out as they move into turn 2, the left-hander, and round this Mickey Mouse into loop, the Mercedes loop, isn't it? That they call it, the Mercedes loop, and they're so close all the way back. Ben Rook still holds the fastest lap right at this time. Kieran O'Reilly, second place, still staring at the back of that so-say bopped and restricted Mustang. Seems to be going really well, doesn't it?
It does at the
considering.
Moment. Yeah, Mezin's just got ahead of Rosowski and through the Mercedes-Benz arena. Then this is Butcher down in 19th. Langley on the back of him. Langley currently 3rd in class. Forgot to say that I can't remember who won in class for gold last time. The result was happening all that quick, and then we had the last corner dramas. I forgot to mention. Yeah, I think it was Class who was your gold winner in race 1. But yeah, Butcher trying to fend off that of Langley a little further down the order. We are going to try, by the way, folks, and show as many battles as we can. Don't think we're ignoring fights on the circuit. There's just so much drama to talk about. De Bon there on the back of Manavola. We've got Ramsel and Leger. Leger up to 27th from the back of the grid. Carlos still in the pits. I think Carlos is suffering with problems because he's pulled off the track a couple of times in this race, so I think he's suffering with a few problems there. But De Bon looking racy on Manavola. Leger having a look up the inside of Ramsel. And if you're wondering, right, it says Ramsel. That's just a little inside joke that we've got. But Leger gets that one done. Ramsel doesn't fight that one too hard.
Not one I know anything about, so don't ask me.
We did a GT4 race on a Monday night, and the commentator kept calling him Ramsel. So
Ramsel, there you go, Ramsel. The commentator, was that Dan?
No,
GT4. On a
different channel. Yeah.
Is there a different channel?
Well, it's not a channel, just a league. But they've got a small little group who some guy streams it to. I think his personal account. I think it is.
Ah, well, everyone needs a hobby. Good point in the chat. Chris Rook said, is there still an extra point for extra lap? Was that been dropped?
No, the fastest point and pole position counts.
Right, so still a point, just a single point, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Except now the gold drivers also get a fastest lap point as well.
And so they should. For the gold fastest lap? Yeah,
but that one gets
gold pole.
The gold pole and fastest lap get an extra point.
Okay.
But the fastest laps for gold we work out at the end of the night when we update it to SimGrid and can see all the data in front of us per category. So we can't really say who that one is at the time. So it's a lot of drivers to look through and dissect their fastest laps in that category. So yeah, we do that at the end of the night. But there is a point for gold fastest lap as well. Where are we now? Go on.
Which is now being held by Hoschenhausen. He's now. I think I've pronounced his name probably differently every single time I've said it. I'm going with Hoschenhausen. I quite like it that way. But he is the fastest man in that 20% restricted Mustang. So he's flying.
He is flying at the moment. He's doing really well. Going back down to Langley and Butcher a second because they're pretty close. Well, no, I think Langley must have made a mistake somewhere since the last time we screened because they've opened up their gap a little bit. So who is closest fight on track?
Patrick Leger is close to the Bont.
It's Eresh on Rook.
And we've got Manilova is on the back of Castro, and Castro just done a little bit of a mistake at the top of the hill, which brought Mana in. but can't do anything with it as the Mustang, 20% restricted Mustang, goes powering away into the distance.
Doesn't actually pull as much though now as what it used to do, and I think that's the bonus. Is it's not, it's not got that ultimate top end speed.
No.
Anymore.
It was a quick car.
Yeah.
Now it's just a quickish car.
Now it's just a slightly less quicker car.
Quish car. Yeah.
Quish car.
Yeah, a quish car, whatever a quish car is. There we go. Always innovating when making new words. So a mediocrely quick car is a quish car from now on. Okay.
Kellyisms for you there.
Yeah. Copyright SimPlay Motorsport.
Back out front, Brendan Williams leads from Kieran O'Reilly by 2/10. Hooper's back within a second. Hotchhausen trying to stay within a second of him. Rooks just dropped off the back of Hotchhausen a little bit here. Now, I said I'd tell you what the fuel looks like at the moment.
Yeah.
All the grid, bar one. In fact, no, he's just pitted, so that won't count. Let me just double check who have pitted.
Matt Wright and McGowan. Yeah.
Okay, they've all gone 50-50. So
have they? Right.
Let's hope it doesn't rain. Otherwise, in fact, even if it does rain, it's not going to matter. Everybody will two-stop. So. There we go. yeah. So all what we were going to do, Matt. What do we know? Exactly.
We've only been hanging around this for 5 years.
Yeah,
what do we
know?
Obviously, nothing.
Nobody's chosen to full fuel it. I'd love now the heavens to open for everybody. Well, I say everybody's going to two-stop. If the heavens was to open now, it's only Matt Wright and McGowan that would have to two-stop because they'd have to pit again. Let everybody pitch at the halfway stage, then rain.
But it's not looking like it.
No, it's not. Not at the moment.
No, it's not going to rain in the next half hour.
And of course it's not. It's the pro night.
Of course it's not. It's pro night. What were we thinking? Why did we even have a discussion about long fueling for rain? What was the point? Because it's pro night. It isn't going to rain. The front few are very close again, Matt. I've just jumped back to him. Hochenhausen is now right back on the back of Hooper, who's right back on O'Reilly. Ben Ruck just a little smidge behind at the moment with a watching brief on these top four, but the top four very close again. Nobody running away with this, is there?
No, not at all. And I think this is what we saw with me and Langley last night, is the gaps... groups formed, not just one or two cars, groups formed. And I feel like we've got that now. You can see on the track map, you've got your first group, you've got a second group, third group, and so on and so forth. Because I'm down in 19th place with Butcher, and he's on Mike, but he's got Langley on the back of him. So we've just got these little groups that are forming in this race. And that, I think, is brilliant this season. And I said it to Langley last night, the fact that we've got these groups that are formed, there's a yellow flag being waved. I can see the yellow flag for a 7-1-2. That is Bolton, who has been slow to recover, so he's had him off somewhere this lap. That has given everybody a place from 8th down to Dan Davis has now gained an extra place in this one then. But yeah, I said to Langley last night that the fact that we've got groups forming gives us entertainment throughout the grid. It's not like we've got a runaway two or a fight in the middle between two or a fight for last between two. We've got a good group of 3 or 4 cars in a great battle.
But don't you think now, looking at who's where in this race, just goes to show how important qualifying is going to be in this season. Do you know what I mean? Because you've got Clouden, who's normally towards the front, pace wise, down in 10th. You've got Mitchin, who's showed that he's quite good over the last couple of weeks. He's in 13th. Dan Davis in 15th. Rosowski in 14th. Mike Matthews, who's always kind of gone well. Overtaker. All these names, because their qualifying wasn't good enough, are now pinned back, further back. You normally say, I'll take Rosowski. Rosowski's been quick. You wouldn't be surprised to see him in this top 6 battle, would you?
No, and same goes for Overtaker though, down in 21st.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
He had a few race wins last season, so
ex-champion. Yeah, absolutely. So
just want to answer a question of Chris's. Sorry, Kelly. Like Rob Smith just said, it could vary from a light drizzle to torrential rain. Within 2 laps last night in race 1, the track went from optimum to wet within 2 laps. And it was 6 minutes to go and half the grid had already pitted for dries. They all stayed out on dries. Some had just came into the pits and stayed on dries. Those who pitted very late went onto the wets and it worked out for them. So it could just vary that much, Chris, if the rain was to come.
Oh, let's hope so. I mean, if you look up in your corner and see the weather at the moment, the little timings there says next 10 minutes sunny, next 30 minutes sunny. None of those have changed. 43 minutes left in this race. I mean, it could happen, and I wish it would. I wish it would. You know, because you and me would be so right on pitch strategy. You know,
me and Langley went absolutely. We'd have been bang on, and we'd have looked like the cleverest folks on the planet at the moment. But me and Langley went wild when that rain came early last night, and it came early, and we went absolutely wild for it because like I said, half the grid had already pitted, and it just threw the cat amongst the pigeons. You know,
and that's what we want.
And Benny Varga at one stage, Kerry, he pitted that early, looked like he was going to be on for 3 wins from 3, finishes 4th because he was on the slick tyre and struggled. You know, but he pitted that early, then he'd have jumped everybody in his pit stop, and it just didn't work out. And that's what I think is brilliant, as Hoopit nearly into the back of O'Reilly.
He does,
has to pull
wide
to the outside to avoid that one. This is really good. We've got 7. The top 7 are within a second of each other because they are all following the leader and cannot get past here. Williams is really, well and truly, the Trulli train at the moment.
Absolutely, and you know, again, in real world motorsport, the likes of Formula One, you need a pace advantage, a good solid pace advantage helps. You know, hence why they use DRS, but they don't seem to have still don't seem to have set that up correctly, really. But you need a definite pace advantage to be able to get past. O'Reilly's been climbing all over the back of Williams since the beginning of the race for 20 minutes, and he's getting nowhere. Williams is just doing enough to keep him there. They may be backing up behind him, but it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know, inch or a mile, winning's winning.
Yeah, exactly, 100%. And this is what I love about this season. 38 cars, we're getting this kind of entertainment and drama. Bolton into the pits. Carlos is a retirement from this race. I mean, he can get back out. I think he suffered with some technical issues, to be fair, because
maybe
he was well off the back at the start of the race. Everybody was coming through the Mercedes-Benz arena by the time he'd even got to turn 1, so he was well off the back, and then he's pulled off straight away in the Mercedes-Benz arena, so I think there's some technical issues going on there. But yeah, top 7 within a second of each other at the moment, and it's ebbing and flowing between Williams and O'Reilly, because at one stage O'Reilly gets within a 10th, then another sector Williams is back to 4 or 5 6/10ths in front.
Yes, indeed. I'm just going to go on board with O'Reilly and see if the Mustang pulls away from the Honda. We talked about this Honda before, and we're going to talk about it now unbiasedly, right? Both of us.
Sorry, say it again. I was just
the Honda.
Yeah.
The Honda, right? That Mustang of Williams's did not pull away from that Honda, and we're going to speak about the Honda impartially, both of us. It's not the quickest car in a straight line.
Now, I'm going to stop you there because I'm going to correct you on this one. It's a lot quicker in a straight line than what the Acura was from Project Cars 2. So if we
yes,
because I had this thought for a while, and what I'm saying is I had this thought for last season when O'Reilly was in it, and it wasn't until Dan was telling me about it, obviously Dan being behind it a lot, he was saying that no, stop thinking of what the Acura was on Project Cars 2. This is a lot quicker in a straight line. So
well, no. See, I was referring this to as O'Reilly's having a look down into the hairpin, but I think Williams has got this covered off. What I'm referring to is actual testing time myself, right? We know the Acura, Honda, whatever you want to call it, in Project Cars was not a very fast car at all. To most of our amusement, you know. But this one, I've driven this Honda round. I drove it round Donny Park, gave it a fair test. It handles like an absolute dream. But if anybody knows me, my cars are always set up extremely stable. I then tested it at Monza, got absolutely mugged down the straights. Now, I think Kieran O'Reilly has learnt this car, and he's got a lot less downforce on it than maybe your average driver. And that's what's keeping it with the other cars in a straight line, because, well, as I said, that's what I think. In normal trim, it's not good in a straight line. But with Kieran O'Reilly,
it's similar pace to the McLaren in a straight line.
I wouldn't agree. No, in the McLaren as well as I do.
Now that could just be the way you've set the car up, though.
Learning
a new car. So yeah, I don't know. Oh, Hoopit's made a mistake. I don't think there was contact between him and Hochhausen. I just think he stopped. He's left. He's gone back to the pit lane.
He's gone.
No, he's gone completely.
Wow.
We've lost Hoopit from this race. I don't know. He just pulled to the side of the road and Hupert has gone. So for whatever reason, we have lost Hupert from this race.
Did
What
he
a
pull
shame.
to the side of the road?
He pulled off.
Yeah, no,
he pulled off, parked it at the side of the road, going into turn 1. That to me could be that there's an emergency that he's had to go and deal with. Because I wouldn't see, sat third place, why he'd have had to have done that.
No, I don't. He was in the hunt for this race win. Maybe we'll find out one way or another. And yeah, what I was trying to alliterate was that this car in the hands of Kieran O'Reilly, he could really make it sick. You know, we talked about how the Mustangs have been slowed down, but there's 3 of them in the top 5.
Yeah.
So you know, it's I guess it's all relevant. Rob Smith saying in the chat that he found it quick over 1 lap.
Well, you see, I think Rob Smith's comments accurate there. Go back to O'Reilly's first season in this thing, and he was good, but he then hit a wall where he then had a big off, and he tumbled down the standings a little bit, didn't he? And he struggled with it, and he only really had to. This is where I think the Honda becomes a better car. I think the Honda is a bit quicker than what you're saying in a straight line. I think that's possibly the way you're setting the Honda up, but obviously you've had limited driving in it. Where I think the Honda is weakest is I think it's let me take the M4 for an example. The M4 I think is the strongest package in the cars we've got on this game. I think it's good in a straight line. I think it's a good all-round car. I think you can hit a wall in the BM and can't seem to get anything more out of it. But I think the M4 is a good all-round car as Mike Matthews bounces off the chicane and goes off. He was catching Overtaker and he's had a moment there. We'll go back down to Butcher. He seems to be in a fight. So I think that the BM is the perfect example, is the best all-round car. I think the Honda is at the bottom of that scale. That the minute it gets a bit of damage, the minute one part of the setup is out slightly, I think that's what we saw with O'Reilly in that first season he drove it. I think this Honda has got to be set up to perfection to get what O'Reilly's getting out of it. I really do. I think that's where the Honda is then so strong, and I think that's why Bont and Hibbs aren't getting the best out of it tonight. We've not seen Rob Smith get the best out of it on a Wednesday, but we are seeing O'Reilly get the best out of it because he's just fine-tuning that setup to absolute perfection. So I think for me the car is not the best to drive all round unless you get that setup in its absolute sweet spot, like I think O'Reilly has done this year, or this season, bar Alton Park, and what he did last season.
Yes, this is turning into a 5-way scrap again for the lead. Williams holding these 4 up a little bit, which, hey, he can do. He's in the lead. But yes, I certainly agree that O'Reilly, they're coming up on back markers as well. That's going to be interesting. I certainly think O'Reilly has got this Honda mastered. I think it's a bit like the Lexus as well. It's not people's first choice, is it? Arash is having a look down the side of Ben Rook, backs out of it quite sensibly. Wasn't going to happen. Oh, as Ben Rook dives into the pits, that's what's happened. So as Hoschenhausen as well, he's gone into the pits as well. O'Reilly with a real charge this time. He's in the slip of Williams and they've got a car in the way. This could be a Hakkinen-Schumacher moment at Spa here, maybe not. So O'Reilly goes to the outside, Williams defends the inside. It's Bolton in front of him. He takes his line round turn 1. O'Reilly's not going to, he is going to make it stick. He's not. Yes, he is.
Yes, he is.
He's going to try and take it down the inside, but Williams is still just sitting on that outside line. Now O'Reilly's got the chance, surely. Into this corner.
It's the left-hander, they make contact.
They go round, or they partially go round, and
Arash gets O'Reilly.
Yeah, O'Reilly, really, that was damage limitation on the grass, but still in this hunt. I think Williams probably slowed down a little bit. I think Ben Rook may have pitted at just the right time there.
Yeah,
and Hoschenhausen.
Yeah, I think you might be right as well. Overtaker, Diaz, Ramsel all into the pits. We've had Mezin, Castro, Langley, Leger, McGowan, DeBonk, Class, Bolton and Matt Wright have all pitted. But yeah, so I think we've sort of covered that Honda in terms of where it sits. I think it's down to O'Reilly having a top setup and being one of the top drivers at SimPlay that is what makes this Honda look phenomenal. Because, you know, and you say about the Lexus, I think the Lexus is on a bit better all-round scale than the Honda.
I've driven the Lexus. I like it. And you know me. I've driven a few, but I can't get away from the McLaren. And it's a little bit like Kieran O'Reilly. I've been driving it for so long Not that I put myself in the same class as Kieran O'Reilly, but I've been driving it for so long now. It's like a comfy little shoe.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And I drove the BM, and I so wanted to Aresh going in the pits. I so wanted the BM. For a car, but you're quite right. I think you hit a wall with it, and I think that's also your own talent with it, if you know what I mean.
Now, don't get me wrong. I think that you could make setup tweaks that BM to get it faster. I'm no good with setups. I can drive a car. I can drive a car pretty fast, I'd like to say, but in terms of getting the setup into a nice sweet spot to help, I'm no good with that. I don't know what changes to make are the correct ones. So yeah, I think there's BM drivers. Fury's a prime example. Fury, back in the early days, got the BM singing on this game.
And Hooper used to make it sing as well.
Look at Rosowski. I know he's not doing the best in this race at the moment, but Rosowski last season made that BMW sing. So I think the BM's in a window. I think it's the same for all cars. If that setup's in the sweet spot, anything can look rapid. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, good evening to Alexa Marshall in the chat. Chris is asking, though, that Ben was showing him some footage from a new sim racing game, Project Motorsport, Project Motor Racing, I do believe. Does that look like the new potential platform for SimPlay Motorsport? Yes, Chris, is the answer to that one.
Yes. Primary early look, isn't it? It's until we actually play it, but it is looking really, really good, and potential for possibly the next season.
Possibly, possibly the next season for the Who Darren Cup at least. Maybe not for Pro and Pro-Am. So we'll have to wait and see as Vitas just got on the gravel. That's cost him a bit of time to Schmidt in this race. Let's find some other battles happening out there on track. We've got Diaz with Overtaker looking up the inside of him on the exit of the final corner. Can't get everything done. Tuning Gods' Discord is a lifesaver for setups. That's my problem, Rob, is it's hard at times for me to exactly pinpoint what the problem is to ask the Tuning Gods. So I'm
not even aware of that. I'm not even aware. I get down to send me a setup and then usually go with that, and tune it to where I'm comfortable. That's and again, with the BMW, I just got it to a point where I couldn't make it go any faster, but I couldn't understand why. Do you know what I mean? I seem to be hitting apexes and good traction and so on and so on, because it is a lovely car to drive. It really is. Although it can feel a little bit dull because it doesn't sound very exciting, but I'm sure the real thing is absolutely epic.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. Well, there is only limited GT3 cars on Project Motor Racing. There is no Ferrari, there is no BM at the moment. They've not announced any anyway.
At the moment,
there is an Acura.
So early days.
There is an Acura.
Well, that sounds like something you do in a betting shop.
Yeah.
Acura.
I always thought that IMSA, the American series, always called it the Acura, and I thought, well, it's not, it's the Acura, it's got a U in it. And then it turns out that when I was doing a broadcast the other week with a couple of English guys as well, that it is actually pronounced as Acura. That is the correct way of saying it. So
I think it sounds better as Acura.
I personally think it does as well, but for the broadcast I was calling it Acura for the rest of the series.
Do you know what I'm going to do?
What's that?
I'm going to call it a Honda.
You call it that.
I'm just going to call it a Honda.
Do you know the best thing is? Obviously, I do commentary as a profession. I had Dan doing the series with me last month, which is the season finale this weekend of that one, 4 Hours of Portimao. The Acura was number 16, and that's Dan's number. And I absolutely took joy any time we went on board that car, because I had Dan in the commentary box with me, and I'm sure he was like really gripping his chair, being like, oh, why does it have to be number 16?
Funnily enough, I was doing a practice race earlier for the race that I'm doing later in the season, and I was being beaten by a number 22 Honda.
Oh, Kieran Argent's number?
Jensen Button's number. Yeah, or Yuki Tsunoda. Yeah. That's all right. I got a new number this year, so it comes with better luck.
Williams has pitted from the lead of this race. We're watching a fight for P11 and 12 at the moment between Manavola and then that of Van Ho at the moment, or Van Hau, sorry, at the moment. And Van Hau is obviously Skunky. He's obviously gone with his proper surname now instead of Skunky on the end of that one. So they both box at the same time. So that puts to bed that fight that we was watching there. Back to Butcher and Mike Matthews, because they're within a... No, they're not, because where's Butcher disappeared to? He's in the pit lane. So... Let's watch somebody who's already done their stop. Here we go. Aresh and Ben Rook.
That's the one I'm on with.
Was Hutchhausen in front of these two?
I think he was, yes.
So Eresh and Hutchhausen have kind of swapped places. Yeah, they have. So Eresh and Rook's basically stayed where he was pre-pit stop, and Hutchhausen and Eresh are the two that have swapped places. So
swapped a Mustang, swapped a Mustang.
A gain of 2 for Eresh, a loss of 2 for Hutchhausen, and a gain and loss of absolutely nothing for Ben Rook. Williams is coming out the pits. He's been jumped by these three.
Yeah, now didn't I say that bit of how argy-bargy that they had with Kieran, Kieran O'Reilly? Yeah, that's
let me put something else towards you, Kelly. Let's see what the gap is through the first sector. Has he took tyres and the other three hasn't? Because it's only a 5-second loss now.
Well, that's yeah. Absolutely, we will see. What's Ben Rook? What's Ben Rook saying? Because I want GTA 6. I'm sure it should put new game in the contract. Yeah, okay. Not my department.
I mean, I don't even know when GTA 6 is out at the moment. So as far as I'm aware, the date keeps getting pushed back, so I don't even have a clue when it's out.
It's about time. It's been about 10 years now since GTA 5,
hasn't it? No, it's not longer, because it came out on the PS3 originally. So I've had it on PS3, PS4 and PS5, but yeah, what a game.
Yeah, what a game.
And let's see, yes, it is. It's out on the 25th of November on Who Darren Cup night. So there we go.
Yeah, there we go. There'll be many people spending their hard-earned pennies on downloading that. They
actually put a post out for a Content Creators Cup. I don't know when this was. I don't know if it was for the Sim Expo that we've just had in Dortmund this weekend, just gone, or what. Mike commented on it, and they actually replied to Mike, and he basically had put something along the lines, can't wait for this to come out, can't wait to move over to it, and he tagged SimPlay Motorsport in it, and he went, oh, by the way, we're live tonight, drop us a subscribe. And they just replied back with, love the bold statement there, Mike, of plugging your own channel. So, brilliant.
Yeah, absolutely. Got to be in it to win it.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
Well, we are the premier console-based league in the world.
The best console-based league, not Premier. We
are the premier. Premier.
Yeah.
I like the word. I like the word premier because it says the best without actually saying the arrogance of saying the best.
I'm going to also throw this out there. I think we are the best ACC league out there, and I'm including PC in that.
Fair enough.
Where else do you get this kind of commentary on a Thursday evening? Nowhere.
Oh, nowhere else. So, exactly. I mean, if you're going to go with that as your statement, then this is the best motor racing in the world.
100%.
Right here, right now.
I can't believe we didn't say it straight away.
Exactly. What we're talking about Sims for. This is the best anywhere. It doesn't get any better than this, and you are the lucky few to be enjoying mine and Matt's ego.
Yeah. As Lexi says, perfect late birthday present. At least I won't have time to decide if I want a PC or a console. PC it is. Yeah, that's because it's cross-play between all three. So,
that's cool. Because I don't want to. I didn't need to buy a PC. Great. I'll just stick to me good old PlayStation.
Yeah, you see that. I like games that's doing this now because I'll continue to buy them on console because the console's cheaper than the PC.
I just think it's less aggravation. I've always been of the opinion that computers, PCs are for work and PlayStations are for fun. That's kind of my thought on it.
The problem I have with a PC is you are constantly having to upgrade it and update it and do everything with it. And parts for PCs aren't cheap. I could do with a better graphics card in my PC. And for the graphics card that you're looking at to upgrade from mine, you're looking at well over $1,000. That could buy me at least 2 or 3 more PS5s. So...
Yeah.
You know.
Airash a little bit, sorry mate, Airash a little bit sideways out of the chicane, no harm done, but looking a little bit leery there as we got some more people in the pits. As I said, I just think PlayStation, you switch it on, it works, you know. I don't want to be faffing around with a PC. I have got a gaming PC. I've got a gaming laptop as Airash comes out in front of O'Reilly, would you believe?
Right,
yes,
so sorry,
absolutely.
I've just dropped back to the fight between Butcher and Leger, so I'm glad you was keeping an eye on that.
And we've got Hoshenhausen and Ben Rook going side by side as well. Airash is now in front of O'Reilly and net race leader. And Ben Rook in third. But as I said, Hoshenhausen is all over him. So this race ain't done. It ain't done by a long shot. Where is Williams? Williams where is Williams?
He's
11th.
Just off the back of these two. Yeah, he's just off the back. I think he's 10th or 9th, because I think he's just ahead of Sylph after Sylph's pit stop. But they're coming down to Sector 1 now, so we'll see in a moment. But yeah, Williams hasn't had the pace he had early on, but this I think shows the pace of the others by pitting earlier or later than Williams, and this is how they've got in front of him at the moment.
Absolutely, absolutely correct. So it's Eresh with the net lead of this race. O'Reilly thinking to himself, that's a different Mustang to where we were earlier. And they seem to be right in it, don't they, all the Mustangs tonight? And Ben Rook in there also. So what have we got? Just 4 people who haven't pitted yet. Still with 23 minutes to go. No sign of any rain. Of course there isn't. It's pro night. You know, there's no rain. Look at the sun shining.
Yeah, never is any rain. Hibbs and Bolton going at it here. Bolton's going to get past Hibbs, gets that move done. Oh, that's a Duffin chop if I've ever seen one, as Bolton chops the nose off of Hibbs going into turn number 5. Yeah, but Bolton gets that one done. It was all clean, it was all fair, it was all within the rules. Bring on the rain, says Chris Rook. There is going to be no rain. Of course, it's glorious, perfect sunshine for the Pro Series.
Of course it is. Yeah. Yeah, if you look to the right closely as you go down the pit lane, you see all the mechanics in deck chairs sunning themselves. That's how warm it is here on an October in Germany. As Hoschenhausen has a go down the side of Ben Rook, right down the inside, gets it slowed down on the apex. Where is Ben Rook? Going right round the outside again. He's got the inside line as they go into the Mercedes Mickey Mouse corner, and keeps Hoschenhausen at bay again for another lap.
He does indeed, and that's allowed Hoschenhausen here then to... So that's allowed Ben Rook to just hold his position over them all at the moment. And there you can see Sylph ahead of Williams now in the background. So Williams has lost out there. Dan Davis, by the way, not seeing much of him today. Double race winner at Alton Park. Barely. He struggled to get in the top 10 tonight, has Dan.
Yeah, absolutely. He wasn't sounding very confident in practice this evening, but not having the best of race.
Rob Smith just said that the pro egos are so bright they've burnt the rain off. That's brilliant. Yeah, love that.
Yeah. Absolutely, like they do every week. Absolutely, it's a bright shining star of egos right here, and that's why we end up losing them half of them halfway through, because their egos are outshined by other egos.
Rob Ramsell.
I would also like to say, is that why we're talking about egos? Are you talking about Rob then? No.
It's just had a massive moment coming out of the Mercedes-Benz arena.
I'd like to pick up on Alexa Marshall's comment about PCs, but cooling tubes, liquid cooling and tubes are cool. Oh dear, has your PC got lots of neon bits and pieces on it as well? Has it got a pretty pink mouse and keyboard to go with it? Lovely.
That's the youth of today, I find, because Alexa Marshall's very young. And this is me saying this, and I'm a lot younger than yourself, Kelly. The youth of today, it's got lots of lights, and look at it colour, so pretty and bright. And I'm just sat there thinking, look, does it turn on? Does it do what you need to do? Right. Mine's got touring car stickers all over it, but guess what? You can't see them because of where it is on my desk. So it means nothing, right?
No.
It means nothing.
No,
does it function how I want it to? Yes. Great, it works. Fantastic. You know? Cooling and liquid and lights and
my generation goes a bit further back, because my PC has absolutely nothing on it, no stickers, no rubbish, nothing at all. It's a functional tool that does a job, and as I said, mine are for business. I mean, I've got 5 and they've all got a job, apart from the one that I'm got here in front of me, which has got more of a play
it's still a job
use.
It's getting that lovely ad revenue.
It absolutely is. So you know, they're just tools. You know, if I stick stickers on things, it's usually on my toolbox at work, right next to my Matt Neal Honda Team Dynamics stickers.
The only reason I put my touring car stickers on the PC was because of where it was at the time, and now that I've rearranged things, you can't see them. So I'm rebuying all the stickers I've got and putting them on a board for when my studio's ready. Because they all look nice on my camera in the studio. But mine is done for work and for exactly what I need. And and that is
absolutely. So that's where we've got to this evening. How you pretty up your PC, which is great. I mean,
I tell you what, Rob Smith's got some great quotes. Liquids and electrics have never caused an issue together.
Don't try that at home, kids.
Jesus Christ! Right, we've got Clouden for 12th with Mezzin on the back of him in this one. Dan's moved up to 11th after the round of pit stops. He's trying to gain on the back of Comar. Sylph's got Williams hassling the back of him, and still we've got this cracking fight. It's 1 and 2 for the lead because Ben's just dropped to within a second now of O'Reilly. Hochenhausen with him, then it's a couple of seconds back to Sylph and Williams. Bit of a gap back then to Schmidt and Bitas, gold leader, P8 overall. He's having a cracking night.
Boy. Yeah.
Rosowski's in a world of his own. Comar has got Dan within 1.2, then Cloudon's got Mezin and Overtaker gaining. Harris is second place in gold. He's currently 15th. Then it's DS from Langley, who's currently on the podium in gold as well. He's ahead of Leger. Then it's Butcher with Castro on the back of. What I love about this is we've gone from them 4 or 5 car groups to now 1 or 2 car groups, but about 25 of them, sort of thing. There's not that many. That's an exaggeration, but you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, absolutely. Chris Rook in the chat, does your PC fill your entire room like the originals? My PC is so old, it served in the NASA moon landings. That's how old the one in this room is anyway. I've got a newer one at work, but yeah, it takes up the whole room. We've got another bedroom just dedicated to the NASA moon landing type PC that I've got back in the day. I've got qualifications in computing, you know that. I've told you that before.
Dial-up and everything else, that's brilliant.
Yeah, dial up. Yeah. Don't get me started on modems that you used to put the receiver. I used to cup the receiver in a modem way before your time, Matt.
Yeah, but hey, I don't think Alexa Marshall would know what a floppy disk is. At least I'm old enough to know what a floppy disk is.
No, another one. Don't Google that one, kids. But yeah, floppy disk and stuff like that. What else has got? Well, cassette tapes. We had it last year. Last week, talking about old gaming cassette tapes that used to hold data. Oh, as Ben Rook's had a moment. He's had a moment, and that's given Hossenhausen the break that he needed just to get round on that last corner, Matt. We said about it, just a little bit too much traction or traction braking out of that last corner just gave Ben a moment. That's all that Hochenhausen needed to put his Mustang up into third place. Ben will not be happy about that.
And you called it earlier, Kelly. You said it's a hurry up and wait corner, and it's crucial with the way the start straight is here at Nurburgring and the way turn 1 is. It is crucial to get a good run out, whether overtaking or defending. You mess up that run, you are on the back foot down the front, the start straight in towards turn 1, and that is Ben Rook who'll be livid with himself on that moment.
Absolutely, it's a little bit like the Hungaroring, where you've really only got one overtaking opportunity, and you really only have got one, but it's a really good one. And that's what you've got here as well. There isn't loads of great overtaking opportunities around this track, but turn 1 is a very good one, and it starts right from the last corner. But Ben is right back on the back of things. He's certainly woken up if he was starting to nod off a little bit.
Well, he's not going to let this one go now. We believe that Ben may only be on a part-time season next season due to GCSEs. So Ben really wants to give this one his full attack, doesn't he? Especially if this is possibly our last ACC season. He needs these points. And really, what a turnaround from last week. Because O'Reilly and Ben was... Let's call a goose, you know what I mean? They was dreadful, right? They was woeful last week. Mistakes on their own behalf. Didn't look great. This week, bang. At the front, looking sharp, looking back to how they was last season.
Yes, absolutely.
Goose, the saying is a spade. I don't know why I went on goose. Sorry.
Absolutely. How bizarre. It doesn't sound like you're comparing eggs with eggs. And it's getting all random with 14 minutes to go.
This is why I love Thursday nights. Dan's getting closer to
Thursday nights.
Yeah, exactly. Dan's
we did the endurance.
Yeah.
We did the endurance a couple of weeks ago, didn't we? And I was having an absolute fantastic time of the endurance. Really thoroughly enjoyed the first 2 hours. That's because I was in the comms box, and the rest of it just was horrendous. But
we had a good ramble, didn't we? Especially as the car started to fan out a little bit.
I think I'm much better at this than I am driving.
It's funny because I'm beginning to think the same thing. So not with you, by the way.
It's an age thing as well.
Yeah, not with you, with myself.
Langley on the always defence. That.
Yeah.
O'Reilly having a go, mate, for the lead. He's going around the outside on the hairpin. Is he going to make it stick? Goes all the way around the outside, but Eresh will always have the inside line, and is able to cut it off. That was a fair effort and great driving from both of them, to be fair.
Yeah, this is a big battle that's just getting better and better. I was just watching the Langley Butcher fight for the final place of the podium in the gold category. As you said that there, it's really getting exciting between a lot of drivers out there at the moment. There is battles happening no matter where you look. This is the Langley Butcher fight. We've then got one a little further down the back between Manavola and that of Jacob, with Cordno in the battle as well. We've got Klaas and Keynes having a scrap. Further forward, we've got that of Dan gaining on the back of Comar slowly. Vitas and Schmidt, they've kind of been at the same sort of gap all race long. Silf is pulling away from Williams. He's joining the fight of Ruck and Hochhausen here. And then we've got O'Reilly, who's back in that slipstream. Let's go on board with Kieran O'Reilly, see what he can do down the start-finish straight. That Ford Mustang not pulling at all. Honda's not really gaining loads, but enough to keep over. If that was unrestricted, I think that Ford Mustang would have just driven off into the sunset.
Well, you would think it'd be 20% quicker and it would be absolutely away, but that's not the case. So, but whichever Mustang is certainly able to keep Kieran O'Reilly at bay in a straight line, and on we continue. And Rob Smith, again, another cracking quote. He's absolutely hilarious tonight, is our Rob, saying that to floppy disks, and I said, Google that one, or don't Google it, kids. If you're going to Google it, he said, for God's sake, spell it right.
Yeah. He also put earlier that the only stickers on my laptop is sellotape holding the screen together.
It's together.
He's absolutely on fire.
Rob's absolutely on one this evening. A couple of too many rattlers tonight, Rob, was it? He's on one tonight, and keep it coming because we love it.
Artos in the chat, where's Mezin? He's down in 14th place. We're just showing you a bit of that action, but it looks like RS had a little wiggle through the Schumacher S's here. That's given O'Reilly a look, but still not close enough to do anything about it. Ruck now fending off Silf more than he is attacking the back of Hochhausen in this one. Dan Davis has lost a tenth or two. Let's go back to that Mezin overtake a fight, because that was 7/10 of a second. We'll stick though back to the leaders because they are within a couple of tenths of a second. We're down into the final 11.5 minutes, and O'Reilly is full attack here, as he has been all race, because he's kind of been sat following a Ford Mustang for the entirety of this one.
Yeah, it's just the name over the top that's changed, but he's still giving it a good go as they're out the last corner. Traction, as I said earlier, also important as O'Reilly is in the slipstream. He's gaining, but only by an inch or so here and there. Has a look down the inside, not going to give it a send it down through there. Eresh not over-defending, not just defending fresh air for the sake of it, and that's a great way to go. Sometimes you can shoot yourself in the foot by over-defending for no reason when you've got it all dialed. So on they continue, quarter of a second. I mean, I hope Kieran O'Reilly knows where the track is, because all he's really done is look at it through the back window of a Mustang. Yeah,
and it's not the smallest of cars to be trying to look past to see where the apexes of the corners are. So
I don't know how to do it. How you do it for so long? I really don't.
Well, this is kind of what O'Reilly's looking at. This is more from the passenger side seat of what would be the Honda NSX, more on the dashboard as well, but this is currently O'Reilly's view of that of Eresh in front. So they're coming towards the hairpin. And listen to that mighty Honda purr as it comes through the hairpin. Then at the bottom of the circuit, it's called Dunlop as well, I believe the hairpin is called. Back up to the Schumacher S's. They come once again. Now Ben Ruck is attacking Hochhausen again, but has still got Silf for company. Vitas just cannot gain on Schmidt at all. That gap has stayed the same. Dan's lost even more time to Comar, so Dan possibly not going to break into the top 10s tonight. Mezin is lost a little time to overtake. We've got that battle between Langley and Butcher still raging on, as well as many a battle down the circuit. Ramsel holding off that of Manavola, Jacob, and then that of Cordno for 23rd place. But it's that fight at the front that we're keeping our eyes on at the moment. This is a heck of a battle as Eresh. Just a little too much curb it looked like there, and it didn't seem to phase that Ford Mustang.
No, Kieran got it a little bit deep as well there, so the odds were even there. Not quite as close as he was last time out of the last corner. Time's ticking down now into the last 10 minutes. So if he's going to do something about this Mustang, he's going to have to get on with it.
Yes, indeed he is. I'm watching Sylph on the back of Ben Rook coming down into turn 1. Has a look up the inside. That's just a look. Nothing more than that from Sylph in this one at the moment. He stays where he is behind Ben Rook. And they carry on as they are. What a race we've seen tonight, though, Kelly. It's been an absolute belter of a sprint and feature race here at the Nurburgring.
Absolutely. I was just Rob Smith saying Smith, McGowan and Skunky all dicing. I'm struggling to see where McGowan is. Is he
all DC'd? All DC'd, disconnected.
Oh, DC'd. Sorry, I thought it was dicing. That was me just looking at it. Yeah, all disqualified. Oh, wow, okay.
No, disconnected, not disqualified. Disconnected.
Disconnected. Yeah.
Rob Smith. So in the Discord, disconnected. Electricity flashed. Internet went out. McGowan and Skunky DC'd as well. That was 15 minutes ago. So they will sadly not score a point in this race. So the three of them disconnect, unless they can get back in and get to the end of this one. But that'll be 3 drivers, no points for them.
Eresh with another sideways moment going up the S's, got up on the curbs and back end dancing around on the back of that. I think the Honda's quite a nice sounding car. We've had this discussion many times.
I've got to do the Merc, he says. You ready?
Yeah,
that is nowhere near as flattering as the Honda.
No, it's another lazy V8 kind of sound, isn't it? You know, and I like the more whizzy sounds, the McLaren, the Ferrari, the Honda, something that's you know, sounding like you've just stolen it, not just lazy.
Oh, Sylph's on the inside of Rook into the final corner, Kelly. Sorry to cut you off, and Sylph gets the move done. Ben has a bit of a slide on exit, that's compromised him, but Sylph got the move done going into the final corner, moves himself up to P4 ahead of Ben Rook. So Rook down to 5th now as O'Reilly looking round the outside of Irish in towards turn 1.
Yeah, absolutely. Kieran O'Reilly's still there. That's been Ben's Rook. His Achilles heel. We'll get there in a minute. Is just traction out of that last corner, and so easy to do. Don't think of it as a weakness. It's really easy to just the back end, just to step out. As Kieran O'Reilly again, these two are just jostling from side to side across the track. I think Eresh is just starting to struggle a little bit on his tyres, or from the pressure. I don't know.
Yeah, I think O'Reilly is doing a great job, but I think Eresh is defending like an absolute Kelly Davis, and that's a compliment, let me tell you, because he's one of the hardest drivers to pass here at SimPlay Motorsport.
I don't know about these days.
Ben is around. Chris is saying that Ben's around, and he has. He's fell behind Williams only, but he's close now to Schmidt, so he's got damage on the front with the looks of that as well. So Ben's had a spin, and I will agree with Chris. In real life, the Merc is beautiful. I was privileged to go to the media day of British GT at Silverstone this year. I know Chris and Ben was at Donington Park for the British GT. The Aston Martin, Chris, the new Aston Martin Evo, I think was a beautiful sounding car. The one that really let me down, I thought, was the Ferrari. It was very quiet.
Yeah, and I mean, again, everything in relevance, and I know Chris is a car guy, so I mean, a singing V8 or V12 sounds amazing. I mean, and if you remember that Audi advert for the Eresh up on the grass, Kieran not close enough that time to capitalise on that one, but Eresh looking very loose indeed. I don't know if you remember the V10 advert, V10 Audi advert, just look it up, where they're just revving the engine of the V10 Audi. It's just car porn. Absolutely, it's the most beautiful thing, and just look it up, Audi advert engine. It's epic and it sounds amazing. I've had probably one of the nicest, couple of the nicest ones I've had in my workshop. I had a 6.3 Holden pickup, which sounded amazing, and a M6 BMW, which again just sounded absolutely phenomenal. But the best one I've had in my workshop was an old TVR with a tuned V8. TVR really know how to do exhausts and make them sound amazing. But hey, I digress.
Indeed. Well, O'Reilly's got that gap down. It looks a lot closer than half a second. There we go, 2.5 tenths of a second now. And O'Reilly getting onto the back. Chris saying that Ben cooked his tyres in the last corner when he was side by side with Sylph. Took a while for the tyres to cool down, so that's possibly what's led to Ben having a moment. But he's got to be careful now because Schmidt and Vitas are coming for him. So if Ben's just struggling out there, he could be in trouble at the moment. Rob Smith saying that race with Eresh in other leagues. He's normally in the top 3 drivers in the league. He's a quick old driver. Is Eresh? He looks really good at the moment. And this is going to be an interesting one.
There's so many good drivers on this grid. You know, it's
strongest pro grid I think we've had ever.
Absolutely, and definitely the quality of drivers, and I've been saying this for the past 3 years. The quality of drivers has just gone up and up, and it continues to.
It seems to go up another level every season we do, doesn't it? The level seems to get even bigger. It really is. You know, Mike Matthews might be racing on a Wednesday night, and he's never raced on a Wednesday night because he's never been in Pro-Am.
No, absolutely, and that's always been his guy. He hasn't won too many races considering the amount he's entered, but for Mike, it's just about staying in that pro category, and fair play, you know. I've only been there for twice. 2 seasons, and that was a long time ago. When we didn't have 34 drivers, we had about 10.
We had 16 in 16,
and I was 16th.
No, you got a pro podium.
No, we had a podium. And I've been up at the dizzy heights of 3rd until my teammate knocked me off. You know, but
that was ACC, wasn't it? That was ACC. That was Cota.
No, was it?
Sutty, Sutty.
No, I've never been in pro.
No, he wasn't. No, sorry, you're right. Yeah, correct, sorry.
Yeah, I've never been in pro on ACC. I didn't translate to ACC as well as I did
somebody
for
that night as you rolled forward a little bit. But
that would be
I digress, as you say, Kelly.
Well, just to come back to it, you had quite a tantrum for the whole race, which was really quite funny looking back.
Headset took a battering. I remember that one.
Heart on your sleeve, headset on the floor.
Always, Kelly. You know me, heart on my sleeve and everything I do. Right, Vitas on the back of Schmidt now by a 10th of a second. You've got Sylph on the back of Hotchhausen. You've got O'Reilly on the back of Eresh. There is 3 fights happening in the top 10, and where to look, I don't know. Sylph's the one who looks a bit more aggressive, more the aggressor after the 3 fights happening at the moment. But let's just keep our eyes on our Schmidt and Vitas. Schmidt, your race 1 winner, let's not forget, brand new winner at SimPlay Motorsport. And this is going to be interesting to see what he can do this season. Now he's a race winner. Rob Smith saying success breeds success. Everyone wants to race the best, and that's why everybody is racing here at SimPlay Motorsport.
Ooh. Sylph and Hoschenhausen getting very close. I think they just touched a little bit as I jumped over, but you've now got Sylph pressuring that Mustang down into turn 1. He goes round the outside, brakes a little bit later than Hoschenhausen, and picks up the apex quicker as well as he goes to the outside as they go into the Mercedes loop. But Hoschenhausen with this one kind of covered for a minute, and we're on the final lap. Oh, they're touchy-feely, and still great racing going on here. Now we're on the last lap.
We are on the last lap. Hotchhausen really mounting the curbs, goes over the track limits a little bit there. This is allowing Sylph a run. Nobody with a drive-through penalty thus far for track limits at the moment. On the run down to the hairpin is Eresh and O'Reilly. Now on their way down to the hairpin is that of Hotchenhausen and Sylph, and they've brought Williams back into play here. Schmidt within a second of Ben Rook, so Schmidt maybe looking to gain an extra place over Rook. He's pulled away from Vitas a little bit. Komar on the back of Rozalski, so he's gapped down some 2.5 seconds and he's now on the back of Rozalski. Still got Harris in the thick of a fight with Mezin and that of Diaz. We've got Langley still being pressured a little bit by Butcher. We've then got Butcher actually under more pressure from... that's Castro under more pressure from Mike Matthews. Then we've got Ramsel under pressure from Manavola. But they're all just starting their final laps of this race. We can keep up to date with this fight. And we've got Bolton, Class and Hibbs having an epic battle as well. But the lead out front, as we come towards the chicane, it is Eresh versus O'Reilly. And it looks like Eresh, he's just got to get his final corner bang on. Fastest lap of the race he's got. Into the final corner, round he comes. Can O'Reilly get it done on traction? No, he can't. It's a short sprint to the line. Eresh will take the race win here at race 2 for the Nurburgring, with O'Reilly second place, Hochenhausen, it's Silf in front!
Yeah. Silf, they touched in the chicane. It was a little bit pushy-shovey, and Silf seemed to back out of it a little bit, and then stepped on it in the last corner and just outdragged Hochenhausen to the line, and Williams giving Silf a bit of a love tap at the end there, just to say hello. Kind of teammate, friendly person. Vitas over the line in 8th place for top gold driver there. Rosowski is also finished, and they're coming through thick and fast now. Michin over the line in 14th. Diesch just behind him. Patrick Leger and Langley coming over the line for 16th, 17th and 18th. Butcher in 19th. Castro across the line in 20th. Mike Matthews 21st. Messino is 22nd. Cardno from the pit lane, as mentioned in the chat. Tom, lovely guy, did the endurance with him, great driver. And Manavola is come over the line 24th. Carnes 25th. Rob Rounsel 26th. Decour in 27th. Haven't got his name right yet. Wakaski then 28th. 29th is Class. Bolton is gone as 29th, and Class 30th. Hibbs 31st. Matt Wright.
Did we lose to Bont from that race? Because I don't remember seeing the Bont in it a lot. 36.
Yeah, 36.
So, we lost to Bont.
He's registered him as 36.
It registers everybody who starts the race. So we lost to Bont. So the Bont could have now a back of the grid start and a qualifying ban going into next week's race at Misano, which will be the first night race of the season. Right, while we just take a screenshot of these results, we will head over to the Discord chat in just a moment or two's time to start the interviews, but I just need a screenshot so that while we do the interviews, and remember, we'll try and get as much spoken to the drivers as possible, but if there's a lot of drivers in the interview booth, we want to try and speak to at least the race winners from Gold and Platinum, so we'll see how many people enter the interview chat, but bear with us, we'll be back in just a moment. So we are live. We're not, I haven't unmuted anything yet. We are live in the commentary box then for this evening's feature race results. Kelly, are you there?
I'm here.
Loud and clear. Brilliant. Right. So then, Kelly, final thoughts from today's action and your driver of the day, please.
Drivers of the day. Final thoughts. Nurburgring, as you and me described, as a little bit of a track. Maybe the talent of the drivers, and 38 of them, has made it a cracking night. And great racing up and down the field again. The quality of these drivers is absolutely fantastic. My drivers of the day, I'm going to pick some winners tonight. I think Kieran O'Reilly is my platinum driver of the day. Although he couldn't make the win, he pressured everybody in race 2 and put some real moves forward in race 1. Champion's drive, do you know what I mean? Real kind of looking at the championship kind of the championship game. So Kieran O'Reilly is my platinum driver of the day, and Vitas again punching well above his weight in gold. I think he's going to run away with this and find himself being a platinum driver next season.
Yeah, I'm going to go O'Reilly as well in platinum. I think the second and the third that he's had has been a good day of racing for himself. I'm unsure on Vitas because he didn't have a great race 1, so I'm gonna go. Let's have a look at who's done pretty well over both races. Where was Harris? I'm going to go Harris because I think Harris got a podium in race 1, so I'm going to go Michael Harris for driver of the day in gold. I feel like he had a good gold race. Vitas had a great race 2, don't get me wrong. Vitas had a cracking race 2. But I feel like his race 1 just let him down a little bit, finishing down the order. So, from what I can see...
So many honourable mentions. Many honourable mentions as well.
Ruck,
loads of them.
Schmidt in race 1. Langley and Butcher for their bronze contributions, as well as Class. Class took the race win in gold in race 1. You know,
Yeah.
Hoochhausen, great debut. Ayres, great performance from him. Williams and Sills back up there. Yeah, so honourable mention.
Some great driving.
Yeah, indeed it was. I'm still inputting the results, Kelly. We've got, let's have a look who's in here at the moment. We've got Michael Harris in, who I believe got.
Okay, Michael, how are you?
Yeah, good, thanks. You?
I'm very well, mate. Yeah. I'm a little bit because I've been chatting at 100 miles an hour all the way through that race. Tell us a little bit about your evening. How did it go for you?
Yeah, so starting in practice, the car just did not feel great at all. Obviously, great track conditions to start off with. And then it got a little bit better towards the end. Made a last minute setup change, which just brought the car to life, really. So, yeah, since then, the car was basically on rails for me anyway.
Absolutely, and BMW is very much like that, isn't it? When you get it in the sweet spot, it drives beautifully and performs. And what I found with the BMW, that it's quite, when it does start to misbehave and the back end starts waggling around, it's really easy to catch. Do you agree with that?
Oh, 100%. It's like playing Colin McRae Rally 2 at some point.
Great game, yeah.
Yeah, but the car itself, obviously, I'm quite familiar with it through previous seasons, but obviously coming from the Audi last season, getting to know that, and then jumping back to the BM, still trying to get up to date with it again. But other than that, this race pretty spot on. Definitely starting to feel more comfortable with it. That's for sure.
Well, yeah, that's absolutely great to hear. And as you say, reasonably happy with your performance tonight then, overall?
Yeah, definitely. Just kept my head down, kept it clean. It's just a case of other drivers making mistakes, which is why I finished the high up. But I had a decent little battle, I think, with, is it Deishes or something towards the end, and Mizzen. Lost out just on the last couple of corners, so I was a bit gutted about that. But overall, it was a good night.
Excellent, good to hear. Matt, where are we next week? Misano night race, first night race of the season. What are your thoughts on that one?
It's not 100% I'm going to make it or not, because it is my birthday next Thursday. So I don't know what the wife's got planned on the night, so we'll soon find out closer to the time.
But the wife needs to know that Thursday nights is pro night. You know, the whole world tunes in. So what's the matter with her? You know? Before I go and upset Mrs. Harris. Yeah, I'm only joking, of course. Because I don't want to annoy women. I found that that's not a good way to go in life. It would be great to see you, of course. But hopefully you can make it. Misano, your kind of track, or you not so keen?
It's a little bit hit and missy sometimes. Last season in the Audi, I think it was probably my best race of the season when I was in the Audi. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Well, we wish you best luck. We wish you best of luck that you're going to be there next week, and if you are, that you have a good result. Well done for tonight.
No worries. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. Who else we got in here, Matt?
Yeah, we've got Langley in here, who's got his first gold podium of the season. Great, believe you can hear us. Talk us through that one a bit tonight, because obviously you felt pretty good in practice. The rain managed to stay away, and you managed to get it on the podium.
Yeah, I couldn't be happier for the first gold podium. Congrats to Harris and Vitas taking the other two spots. I did say I think Vitas is going to get one back come me this season after last year. But yeah, first gold podium, the pace felt so much better than last week. I just did not like Alton Park, and I really like the Nurburgring. I just love the flow of the track around here, and stayed out of incidents, made an undercut to get by Butcher. So pitted a few minutes early on that and managed to hold him off. And 18th might not sound bad, or might not sound great on this big of a grid, but considering it's third in class, I was happy to find out I was on the podium, because I didn't know. I could see Harris up the road, but I didn't know if there was anyone else that was in my class also ahead of me. So yeah, very happy. with the turnaround from last week. Hopefully this pace continues. I know Misano next week. I didn't get to race it last year because unfortunate server issues and on Pro-Am night. But the pace felt really good at Misano last year. I felt like I was keeping relative pace with a lot of platinum drivers in practice last season. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Excited for that. I think Alton Park was just a one-off. The track didn't suit me. It didn't suit the car. So yeah, I'm very happy with the turnaround this week and looking forward to next week.
We've pretty much answered every question I was about to ask you in that one.
And then some.
In that one question. Yeah,
it's almost like I commentate too, Matt.
Yeah,
you should commentate, you know that.
It's almost like you commentate, Carl. I knew what I was going to ask. So yeah, well, look, Alton Park's not for everybody. Even the defending champion struggled at Alton Park, so it's not for everybody there. Yeah. Langley, well, we'll let you go. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Oh, we've got David, have we? David,
Hello. You all right, mate?
I'm good. You seem to be there or thereabouts this evening. Whenever I looked at the kind of top 5 or 6, you were kind of hanging around there, but couldn't quite go forward with that. In your words, tell me a little bit about tonight.
Not as good as I wanted it to be, but I'll take the result. I can't complain with a P3 in the feature. I think the undercut worked in race 1, but it's a bit of a gamble anyway, because if the people in front of you pick the next lap, you're kind of screwed, and it defeats the point of it. So, but yeah, I'm happy with the result. It's only round 2, pulling in some points for championships and teams. So, yeah, could have been worse, could have been better.
And I mean, MSA team, I would have think leading the championship, Matt. I would have thought he's still out there typing his typing stuff, but with good, strong results from you and your teammate Kieran, I'm sure you guys are leading the constructors. So as you say, good, strong points for you guys this evening. We move to Misano next week, and at night. How's that for you? And how do you think you're going to get on?
Looking forward to it. I really enjoy Misano, especially in the BMW.
Yeah,
it's a good combo.
Yeah, absolutely, and we've had many discussions about the not you and me, but in the comms about the BMW this evening and its strengths and weaknesses. But it's a good car, and it's very, very planted, very controllable, as we were just talking with Harris about. Again, do you find it's what I said with Harris was when it starts to snap, it's very, very controllable. Do you agree with that statement?
To a certain extent, yeah. as long as you're not overdriving it, then yeah. If it misbehaves, it's quite easy to pull back.
Quite easy to catch.
But once you go past that limit, though, it can really bite you if it wants to.
Absolutely, and it's great to see you towards the sharp end, and hopefully that'll continue next week and throughout the season. So congratulations tonight on a good, solid result.
Thank you. Fingers crossed for next week.
Absolutely, I'll be there.
And lastly, O'Reilly in the box. Kieran, just not the night to win a race, was it tonight? Obviously a great turnaround in performance compared to Alton Park last week, but just not the night. You just couldn't get that lead.
No, I mean it was a strong night all in all. We've managed to claw some points back, which is what the goal was for this evening. But obviously race 1 was sort of flying, to be fair, and got the undercut, but just not quite enough to pressure them in front. I mean, I sort of got onto the back of them, but then I thought I might as well just cruise it for third and just don't do any silly mistakes. And then obviously race 2, just sort of sent it in quali, knew what I had to do, and obviously managed to get that pole. But ended up losing it, so it's not the best there. But we tried his best. We kept bumper to bumper, put the pressure on, but just no opportunities. Irish drove an absolute blinder, did what he needed to do, put the car where he needed to do. Did have a little send on Williams coming into, I can't remember what turn it was, and almost binned it, so I thought might as well chill out a little bit. But yeah, overall, happy with tonight. It's quite a good performance, and after Alton Park last week, mind wasn't quite in it last week, and this week I knew what I had to do. So, yeah, I think we've mission accomplished this week.
It seems a much tougher season this season, doesn't it? Obviously, defending that title is going to be a lot harder, a lot more of a quicker calibre on the grid this season. Not just Dan and Ben and the others from last season. We've got the likes of Mathew and Ares who come in and are just making this a really interesting championship. That's kind of now your first race sort of up and running, isn't it? And it's now looking at the next 8 weeks and sort of going and seeing what you can do there.
Yeah, definitely. There's a few tracks in this calendar where the Honda, if we can get it dialed in, I believe it can sort of dominate, to be fair, in the right hands. So, we look forward to them ones. But then obviously we've got the likes of Spa. Suzuka's a little bit sketchy. Spa's quite bad for the Honda, going through a Rouge. So, it is what it is, really. We look through the calendar and see where we can sort of get them points in, and then sort of just try and do what we can do at the other ones. But like you say, competition's that high right now. You're just constantly under pressure. Your mind's just doing 100 different things. So, but it's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's what we want. We want competition every week and close racing. So.
Indeed. Misano next week, obviously night races Kelly's alluded to a moment ago. What can we do around Misano? Quick circuit and the cool, very cool temperatures are going to play a part in that one.
Yeah, I've done okay there in the past. It's actually not a track that I favour much. It's just can't seem to gel with it. But when you do get it right, it does feel good. So again, we'll just have to see what happens. The Mustangs are still looking strong, and obviously with them being a more stable car, I think it just gives them that edge, especially diving into corners and whatnot. The Honda's very easy to lock the brakes up or just make silly mistakes. So it's just going to be tricky. We know it's going to be another tricky night, but like I say, the Honda does do okay around there, and we'll just have to hope on the night we can put that performance in.
Indeed. Well, Kieran, congratulations on the driver of the day. You got the fans vote for driver of the day as well. So congratulations.
Yeah, nice one.
Sorry, Matt. I just wanted to ask Kieran. Tell me, how do you pick your braking points, choose your apexes, and generally drive for an hour while you're looking through a Ford Mustang?
Well, I don't know. You get used to it. Obviously, I was following Williams round for half of last season, so that was a good practice. But it was a shame, really, when I seen the undercut worked. I knew I was in for a tough night. I just knew. Even though Nurburgring's quite a wide track, it doesn't feel like that when you're racing, because you just any little bit of contact on ACC, it just sends people around. So you've got to be so careful. But it's just sort of just naturally get used to that, really. Just brake a little bit earlier and ease it to the corner, and obviously it gives that bumper to bumper action. So like I say, and that's what it's about, So.
We will love it. I was just trying to comprehend. I was, on board with you. As I've said before, I kind of sit on board with the cars, and I was on board with you. And I don't know about you, but I think I'm going to go to sleep tonight with a picture of the Mustang in my head, because you seem to be so close to it all the time. And I'm just looking at it thinking, how do you do that lap after lap? Yeah. Just find your braking, pick up your apexes, and not fly into the back of that car. I say it with the utmost respect. I think I'm just astounded by it.
Yeah, like I say, you just sort of get used to it. I think when it comes to consistency and being fair, that's my sort of racing, So I don't push the limits too much. And obviously, if there's a gap, I'm going to try and go for it. But I also know that the door also shuts to some corners, with how apexes are. So like I say, it's you just get used to it, and like I say, if we can keep doing that throughout the season, it's going to make for some mega battles, I think.
Absolutely, for sure. Congratulations on tonight.
Yeah, thank you.
Well,
cheers, lads.
That wraps up another night of action here at SimPlay Motorsport. Join Dan Davis live next week for the Who Darren Cup live on Tuesday evening. Myself and Langley will be back live on Wednesday night for Pro-Am, and me and Kelly will be back with Sticky Box on Thursday evening. It's going to be an interesting one, Kelly. First night race of the season at Misano.
Can't wait.
Indeed we can't. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you next time. Goodbye.